No, well, this is kind of like.
Welcome back again to the Outer Dimensions podcast, the podcast featuring Dre of the Collector Safe Space and, of course, Dave of Dave's Dimension, where we discuss the best, the greatest, our breakdowns, and all the favorites of every movie that is out there in creation on every dimension possible. Welcome to the Outer Dimensions podcast.
Welcome. Hey, everybody. It's your boy Dre. You heard it. You already heard. I got the best announcement ever, by Dave. He just switched sides on me, so I was gonna go this way, and now I gotta go this way. So
Well,
yeah,
it's Dre and Dave. So yeah,
exactly. So hey, just to give you guys a happy New Year to you guys. I know that we did take a bit of a hiatus, but it was on purpose because we've had a lot going on. We had family things. We've just had I had some work things. Just life gets crazy. But we're starting this year off super freaking strong with some interesting things that a lot of people had asked us a lot of questions about. And because of the actors strike and
what implants? What?
Hey, I see some people coming in. So basically we wanted
William H. Grimsley, great author and friend of the channel.
welcome, William. And our boy EC Colin. Yo, Colin, I gotta give you a call when I'm done with stream. I'll give you a buzz.
And I want to give a quick shout out, belated shout out. Back in kind of late 2023, our friend Colbane Games officiated Will's marriage. So congratulations to
congratulations.
Mr. and Mrs. William H. Grimsley.
Very cool. So a lot of people have asked us, whenever the strike is over, what are you guys going to start talking about, like the movies of 2023? So Dave and I had been talking about that for a while. And during the hiatus, I was like, I started working on, even though I was off, I started working on cheat sheets. So this is the first cheat sheet. Hey, Rex, good to see you, brother.
Rex and Effects.
So I decided to get some cheat sheets going. And this is the first of a few different lists before Oscar season. Yes, folks, we are going to do an Oscar show. It will not be airing on the Oscar night because that is usually a Sunday evening and I work. But what we will do is we will have a Wednesday show of the week of the Oscars to talk about our picks, and we will have maybe one or two special guests with us. We're working on the process of getting that to happen. So,
and then we'll see whether we're going to be right or wrong.
Exactly. I think right now, because of the Golden Globes, which I said Oppenheimer.
Is it right to be wrong or is it wrong to be right? We'll find out.
I think both, because I like being wrong sometimes, but it's wrong to be right. So, it just to give you guys that heads up. So let's get our cheat sheet up, Dave. Let's see what our top. Now, mind you, this list is. Let me break this down for y'all. We have technically 6 movies on this list. There are 5, obviously, from 5 to 1, and we threw in an honorable mention. Now, these are my and Dave's personal picks. We will explain why we chose these films. Now, are these every film that was out last year? It was as close to December, an early December release that I could get. And that either it was on Blu-ray, digital, or in theaters.
Wait, what's Blu-ray? That's what Best Buy
I know, because we're losing that. That's a talk for a different show.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can still get physical media through other sources, like everyone's friendly neighborhood Amazon delivery guy. There's still other ways. So, do you want to jump into number 1?
Well, number 5, because we got to start back.
Sorry, number 5. Yeah, and this one's a big shocker if you know Dre.
Yeah, this is actually a shocker. Now, Dave, why didn't you wait, you didn't put your pictures up? I told you to put your pictures in.
No.
I did. I messaged you. I said, put your pictures in.
No, you didn't. I didn't get a message.
Yes, I did. Oh, my goodness. Folks, I am sorry. It's gonna look incomplete. I had told Dave to put copies of the movie posters for his picks, unless he did something with the cheat sheet where
No, I didn't. I haven't edited the cheat sheet at all. So
wow. So okay,
I didn't get a message saying that. So that's on us.
that's on
And by
us.
the
I
way,
apologize, folks. You know
I
I'm
want to
usually better on
say
cheat sheets.
hello to LDG, Free the Net,
Hey,
hashtag Free the
LDG,
Net. He actually popped through a test stream I did on Dave's Dimension this morning.
nice.
We're doing some test streams. So thank you for popping in. This is the Outer Dimensions podcast. We discuss movies every week here, usually around 7 p.m. Eastern, but we had a little bit of a late start today. So welcome.
Yeah, that was on me. It's my day off today, and if y'all know North Carolina, we really just got hit with some really bad weather. I know New York was getting hit with it as well, and it's parts of Florida, South
Yeah, don't get
Carolina.
me started.
We are fine. My front lawn was flooded yesterday.
A lot of
And
schools, a lot of things are shut down
yeah,
today
my wife
here.
was out of school.
Just
My
high
daughter was out of
winds.
school. So it was crazy. So thank goodness. But yeah, let's start with number 5. Obviously, my number 5 pick, and my criteria for this was based on I saw this in the theaters with my family. I took my kids and my wife, and my kids and my wife were completely never heard of Blue Beetle, never knew what it was. I of course had grown up watching him on the Justice League Unlimited, Teen Titans cartoon, on Justice League, the oh god, what was it? The Netflix show that they had. Why can't I remember the name of the other animated series that they had that was on Netflix?
Young Justice?
It was Young Justice and Young Justice the sequel series that came out after that one.
And he also was a one-off character on Smallville back in
Yes,
the
he
day.
was. So
Him and
Blue
Booster
Beetle made
Gold.
my cut solely because my family and I really had a good time enjoying it. It was one of those films that you sit in the theaters. It had a bunch of feel-good moments as a Latino, having Latino kids, having my half Latino kids and my white wife. She enjoyed it. She thought the comedy was hilarious. We thought that there was, but again, we were biased because my wife and I both love Cobra Kai. So of course we love the main
Okay.
actor. You know, George Lopez for me is hilarious. I love him in the movie. I think he does a great job being that
Well,
kind of like crazy uncle that we all have.
he wound up having a stronger character in there than the actual trailers led everyone to believe.
Exactly. And especially when you watch it all the way to the end credit scene,
Yeah.
where it's like, I agree with you 1000%. I felt like his character was a way more integral character to the plot than we were led to believe.
Yeah.
So
And
Susan Sarandon, obviously being the villainess, I thought
yeah.
that was kind of a throwaway. I felt like her character was kind of useless.
Well, I
And
mean,
again,
considering her age, considering she hasn't really worked a whole lot recently,
true.
and she's played kind of, almost villainy kind of like characters in the past. I mean, some of us when we see her, we're always going to think of Rocky Horror Picture Show, Thelma and Louise, and a few others.
I think Thelma Louise. I think
And I'm sorry, but with all due respect, she still looks good for her damn age.
she does. She does.
I'm
I
just
I
saying.
think honestly, I will say my favorite character, side character in this film was Abuelita. For if you guys don't know, Abuelita means grandmother in Spanish. But that lady, Dave,
Oh man,
when she
dude.
did the shotgun and was like, Abuelita was a revolutionary before you know. And I was like, this lady is
She
the
was
best character ever.
listen, she you did not want to mess with her, okay? As soon as they're like the family's getting ready to, spoilers, when the family's getting ready to help Jaime out, yes, it's Jaime, not Jamie. So get it straight,
Oh
people.
yeah,
If you're looking it up, it's Jaime, okay? It's always been Jaime
or Jaime,
Reyes.
the way he's saying it, not Jamie. Not
Jaime.
Jamie. Don't say that
Jaime
because
Reyes.
it pisses me off.
How's the last name pronunciation? Was that okay
Reyes.
for
Reyes is
a
good. That's my
gringo?
cousin's name. That's my cousin.
Reyes.
Reyes is good.
Reyes. So I know I'm a gringo, but hey. But
Hey,
no,
listen,
when the
you
family
gringo,
starts
Jaime
loading up,
Reyes. That's it. That's it for the
when the
gringos out there.
family, I mean, the sister gets the shield, grandma pulling out the guns like she's been working these for like decades. I'm like, yo,
But
grandma
you
was
can make
no
a movie
joke.
about her. Give me a backstory film about her. I
A
would watch it.
prequel. And what if she actually give some background? Like, um, what if she had like some interaction with Cord
That's
way
it, like, what if
back
it
in the
was
day?
Ted Cord?
That
Like,
would
what
be
if she met with the original Blue Beetle?
like young Ted Cord, like she met like she saved him at some point in the Revolution, and how does she know how to work all his weapons?
That
That's the
would be
question.
such an awesome, inventive way to,
Hey,
like,
Joseph, what's going
that's
on?
my boy Joseph. He's a longtime
Yeah.
supporter of this channel, of
So I
all the
mean,
channels I do.
yeah, you could do a prequel. You could show us the original Blue Beetle because obviously, spoiler alert, we know that Blue Beetle is alive
Yeah,
at the
because
end.
that's the end of that's the after credit scene.
So I mean, who's to say? I mean, yeah, there's a lot of possibilities, and they made this movie not necessarily connecting to the DCEU,
It's the
so they
start
can
of the new
definitely push this forward. They can
and supposedly
definitely
it's
work him
getting
forward.
now, I'm gonna speak on this because Dave and I have talked about this when this movie came out, and he knew I gave rave reviews about it. My family gave rave reviews about it. I'm gonna tell everybody, I don't give a shit what people say. If you even, oh, I'm not Latino, I don't understand. It doesn't.
You,
This
you,
movie
you
was.
don't have to be.
You don't have to be Latino to get. There was references to a lot of cultural isms that were
Yes.
very Latino, and I will say this: that if you're not Latino, you may miss it. But that's when you research it, understand the culturalisms. I love Japanese culture. I speak Japanese. Am I Japanese to understand all the culturalisms of Japanese culture? No.
No, but you don't have to be. Perfect example. I'm going all the way back to the 1980s since you mentioned Cobra Kai, Karate Kid, about taking shoes off, respecting elders. Like
Mhm.
look what Daniel did for Miyagi's medals. He made the little shadow box to display the medals.
Favorite scenes
I
around
mean, showing reverence and respect to your elders is something that is strongly rooted in Eastern culture. Let's be honest. It's rooted in also Hispanic culture. Let's be honest.
it is.
Uh, so I mean, with that being said, I mean, yeah, you can get elements, about training people by doing everyday tasks in Karate Kid. That's not something that we really saw mainstream. That may be something that you're not really accustomed to. It's definitely can be viewed as more of a cultural thing, but that doesn't mean that you can't enjoy the movie. Same thing here. You could throw anyone into this character almost. Okay, you could have someone who's African American, you could have someone who is Middle Eastern. You could throw any culture in there, but when it comes down to it, it's about a young man coming back from college, and he sees his family's in dire straits, and he wants to do anything and everything possible to try and help save his family home. It just so happens that he meets a beautiful girl, and he, is somehow entrusted with a highly experimental piece of alien technology that merges with him and makes him one of the most baddest heroes ever. It's kind of like, it's high tech Venom. Let's be honest. This is high tech Venom. If you really think about it,
And
it's the
it's a
DC
symbiote.
version of high tech Venom. So, I mean, it shows you could throw anybody. You could throw any kind of, to me, some of the writing was a little funny in some parts.
It did. I will
Okay.
admit that there
But
were
I'm gonna contribute that to the studio sticking their noses where the noses. Anyone that knows me, if you guys have been following this series, the Outer Dimensions podcast, which is available wherever you get your podcast from, by the way. If you know me, you know I'm someone who, yeah, he's like, okay, high tech Venom, interesting. Well, it's symbiotic. Okay, it's kind of like a symbiote, just a high tech symbiote that merges with Jaime,
and
and by the
aliens, just like the symbiote is.
and by the end of the movie, at one point there's a full reboot, and now the suit, the beetle, the scarab, is now merged with Jaime, and they're almost thinking at one at times.
Well, they get that synergy, which I think is
Yeah,
amazing, and I think it
where
was cool.
like she, I'm gonna say she because it was a female voice. The scarab, she was kind of elevating and kind of incorporating all of his culture, all of his life into her, and she was
At one point, that was
yeah,
hilarious.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it was a full it was a full symbiotic relationship on so many levels. So yeah, so to me, it's kind of reminiscent. And dare I say, almost maybe, and this I'm probably gonna get some shade on this. I'm gonna get some hate. Maybe they did this, the kind of merging on a slightly better level than maybe Sony did with the at least the second Venom movie.
The first Venom movie,
Which
so first Venom
yeah,
movie, I will speak because I'm a Spider fan.
just a turd rolling down the street.
Exactly.
You
First Venom,
know,
I think they did a really good job on
second one was
creating that symbiosis.
yeah.
I felt they did a better job with Carnage and
Okay.
his symbiosis to Cassidy than they did with Eddie and Venom.
Well, the only criticism I have about well, I have 3 criticisms about the second Venom movie, but long story short, they should have made. I mean, Woody Harrelson was made to play Carnage and Cletus Cassidy,
He was meant to play Cassidy.
but he could have played like the maniacal, almost Joker-like laugh. Like he could have been a little bit more out there, possibly. And they killed him off. And they killed him off in that movie. So,
well,
for now.
So wait, let's go after what Archer said. Because hey, Archer, I see you in here, brother. Nerd affiliated in the house. I'm ready for another Blue Beetle. I agree with you.
El Presidente.
I'm ready for another one too. Let's see where the DCEU goes, because I know
it's got potential. It's got so much potential, and I think this was I'll say it, this was a family superhero movie, a family friendly superhero movie in the DC universe, because for the most part, a lot of DCEU movies, they weren't exactly family friendly. Let's be honest.
None of them were.
And this one was, and I think last year, if they would have put more promotion to it, if they would have really promoted it, because in my book, past 2 years, no studio has really been overly promoting the majority of their movies. I think if the promotion was there, it would have done even better numbers. But there's also the box office trend that's affecting it as well.
And Archer's mentioned that on his channel. I know I'm falling out of the shot. It's my camera. I have to. There we go. I had to move my camera over.
And of course, speaking of Archer and his show, if you guys want to know more information about the latest entertainment news and trends and numbers that are happening all throughout the current box offices and the current rumors and the latest and greatest entertainment news, Monday mornings, Hey Archer has Nerdy Coffee at 9 a.m. Eastern. And of course, at roughly around 8:15 p.m. Eastern on Thursday nights, Nerd Affiliated on Thursday nights. So please go ahead and check them out. But yeah, I mean, I want to see more of this. I really do. And I'll be honest, I pushed off watching this movie for the longest time. But when I watched it, like, I messaged you, I was like, yo, this is insane. This is great.
It was the figures. And it's funny, like down to the marketing, like the figures were the best thing I think that they made. Like Carapax, which was like, because he's supposed to be like the Carapace, which is like
you can still find this, the larger
Carapace,
the Lux statues.
You can still find the Blue Beetle McFarlane 12-inch statue. The figures, they're a lot harder to come by. If you want to get them, you can probably find them at a, dare I say this, and I hate mentioning it, Lord help me.
No, you're not mentioning a 4-letter store.
Okay.
We'll say your outlet discounts, your discount outlet retailers. There you go.
You like that?
Which covers a lot of stores, actually.
Exactly.
So yeah,
wink.
but yeah, I mean, it's a great movie. And the effects, I don't think were cheesy, unlike a certain DC movie that was out. Batman meets Supergirl. Which
Michael Keaton's movie. Yeah, that Michael or Aquaman. Because I will say this, Aquaman almost made this list as an honorable mention. And I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for that, but we will talk about that later.
Okay. Archer coming out with only complaint, other than that it was predictable, was George Lopez was being a super genius. I'm tired of every hero having a superhero family member or friend. LOL.
Okay. I mentioned it before you got on here. I loved Lopez being that crazy uncle, and we all have one uncle.
Well, yeah, but he was great, the crazy uncle. But I do get Archer, because I mean, even go back to Tom Holland, Spider-Man: Homecoming, Ned, the guy in the chair. everyone knows at least someone who is that guy in the chair or that person
Well, you're
that
my guy in
pulls.
the chair.
Well,
I
hey,
mean, you're
I'm
my
good
guy
at
in
it, but I'm
the
just saying, yeah, yeah. See, this is what he said. Yeah, the crazy uncle's fine. Like I said, he was great at the crazy uncle, but
Batman's
yeah,
a fascist.
it that was
That was
a good line
my
though.
favorite line of that whole movie.
That was a good line. Um, but yeah, I get that it's just so convenient that everyone has someone. I mean, hell, even in the TV shows, the CW superhero, the Supergirl show, when it first premiered, she happened to have that the IT guy that worked in the office was the guy who actually designed her suits and helped her with the superheroing. It's like everyone like, oh, if I become a superhero, I got that one guy in the chair. Well, if I became a superhero, who would be my guy in the chair? I am
Well,
the freaking guy
Okay,
in the chair.
so he mentioned okay, so Archer, you're mentioning Arrow. So if we look at Arrow,
Yes.
he marries and then has his kid with the IT girl who's hot, by the way, the blonde chick.
Well, yeah, it was a will they or won't
Felicity.
they for like almost the entire series, Felicity,
You get
bec-
Felicity. In Flash,
Flash,
we have
Cisco.
yeah,
Cisco was,
Cisco.
was the guy in the chair for the most part.
And Cisco then elevates himself to become a
Static
superhero.
Shock, his
It's
buddy, blanking on
the
the
blonde
kid's
hair
name.
kid.
Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. Who
Yeah, I know.
later he became Gears, wasn't it?
Yeah, he becomes a superhero. And then
Yeah.
let's not even sleep. You also have to look at Batman Beyond because in Batman Beyond, the girl that played the black
Yeah.
girl that played Robin, she was a freaking genius. You know, and
Uh-huh.
she was able to do work on the tech. The black girl that was Robin in Batman Beyond, that was
She
Terry.
she 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 wasn't in the cartoon. She never got to the point where she donned any kind of Robin.
But we all know she was Robin. Call her what she was.
Yep.
Everybody called her Robin that was a fan of that show, and I'm going to call
Yeah.
her Robin because
Yeah.
they even
Well,
list her.
either that or Alfred.
I would call her Alfred because that was Batman's job when he was that
Well,
old.
no, because Terry makes a joke in one episode where he's like, she was like, you better not start calling me Robin. He's like, okay, Alfred. That's the thing that he does. So, but yeah, I mean, it is something that you always get someone who, if they're a little tech savvy, they wind up being the person to kind of like, be the tech person. In every superhero show or movie, there's always that one person.
You're
It
right.
is a trend, and it a lot of times it winds up being a bit convenience. Let's
No,
just
you're right. It's a trope.
say that.
Let's call it what it is. It's a trope.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you this: would you say this would be your number 5 film? Since we don't have a poster for it.
No, I do have some movies in mind.
All right. So what would be your number 5?
Indiana Jones.
Wow, Dial of Destiny.
I my and I'll give my reasons. Okay,
I'm surprised.
Dial of Destiny, because I didn't see a lot of movies this year. A lot of movies from 2023. I did not see a whole bunch. Okay, Indiana Jones, Dial of Destiny, because this was what we should have gotten instead of Crystal Skull. Let's be honest, this was a
Oh,
step above.
I sat in the dark for 3 hours for that movie. I don't know what about Crystal.
When people ask me, what are the movies of Indiana Jones, I list everything except Skull, because to me, it shouldn't have even been
Dave
made.
sat in the dark too for 3 hours watching Indiana Jones on a film.
Yeah.
But we don't know what the name of it was.
But no, Dial of Destiny, I thought it was
I'll put that
was
in
some
for you guys so you can see.
yeah, there you go, Dial of Destiny. I get like it almost feels like it's trying to pass the torch a little bit.
It did.
Um
It did.
a little bit, but not truly, because you get like the young niece, the surrogate niece to Indy. She's more kind of like
Nathan Drake.
no, I was gonna actually go with she's more akin to oh god, Brendan Fraser's character in the first Mummy. About
Really?
trying to make a dime, trying to kind of survive. She comes off more like Han Solo than Indiana Jones in this movie. Like she's trying to
That's a hot.
she thrives on adventure, and she's also trying to make a buck. That but the movie itself, I love seeing. I know he's up in the age, but I love seeing Harrison Ford suit up as Indiana Jones. And honestly, I could see him up to do possibly another one before he passes, before his time is up.
So he did state during a press conference And I know this was not at D23 because it was. I know at D23 is where they announced a lot of stuff for this film.
Yep.
But I did hear that somewhere afterwards there was another press conference that he did state that he would be willing, as long as his body is willing to, because he did get injured in the filming of this film.
Yes.
He said that he would do at least one more, but it would be almost like this film where he was the background character, and it was another the girl was the forefront, and that's where I think we're gonna see the next film kind of go, where he'll fade to the back.
Well,
and
if
she
not
would be,
fade or maybe sacrifice.
Pardon?
And haven't he sacrificed himself?
I don't want to see him die. No, I saw Han Solo die.
No.
That's enough. I don't need to see him die.
Well, I mean, nobody wants to see him die, but if we see him die doing something amazing, doing something
Honestly,
that would
I wouldn't
save
mind seeing him
lives.
go back in time. Like if you
Huh?
left him in time, or he's like, if he's gonna sacrifice himself, leave it ambiguous, kind of like how Silent
that
Hill.
he's lost in time.
Yeah, like exactly, like where they figured it out, because let's just say that the Dial of Destiny has now opened up the idea of
time travel.
Time travel,
And there's a lot of mystical, or should I say mythical, ways of time travel.
exactly.
But hear me out. Let's say like there's something that happens and he vanishes without a trace. They presume that he's just dead.
Mhm.
But maybe you hear him and like you just hear his disembodied voice in a light somewhere, but then you also hear Henry's voice at the same time.
That would be awesome. Like, see, that's a great. I think that would be a perfect nod for fans, because I liked it. I think it was a great way that they explained Shia LaBeouf's character, why he was depressed, what has been like.
What if you got Shia LaBeouf voice to come back?
Well, he's dead. He died in Vietnam.
Yeah, but what if Indy somehow goes back? Like it's him going back in time
I don't know.
His son.
It'd be an interesting. That'd be a weird.
But see, that's the thing. Indiana Jones doesn't have rules, though. That's the thing.
Well,
I mean, Indy. Indy is the. He was the. I don't want to say anti-box office action hero, but he kind of was. He was the adventurer type. I mean, Indiana Jones movies thrived during a time when you had Schwarzenegger and Stallone, but Indy still,
Bruce Willis and
yeah, but see, those were the machine gun action heroes, where it's him, his fedora, and his bullwhip,
and a gun. Be fair,
not
gun, which I love.
He always lost the gun at some point in the movie. Temple of Doom, like he or was it? No, it was Ark. When he's like reaching for the gun and there's nothing in his holster. He's like,
yeah, I remember that. That was funny.
Okay,
and Rolando, thank you, bro. Be safe while you're driving.
Hey, Ro.
Be safe while you're driving, brother.
But yeah, that is my number 5.
All right, let's go to number 4. Let's go to number 4. All right, this movie again. I have to stress Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I cried in the theater with my daughter.
What person didn't cry?
Lana and I both went to this movie. This was our last Marvel movie, I think, that she and I went to go see together, because we obviously in 2023 didn't have a lot of superhero movies that were, they were so spread out. And some of them we just couldn't afford to go see because I wasn't working at the time. But we saw Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and I remember just going in that theater, her and I, and there were at least 3 scenes that, off the top of my head, instantly kicked me in my heart. Like, you just
young Rocket crying.
The
rage scene when he just loses it,
and he tears the High Revolutionary's face up.
Yep.
The fact of like the team breaking up, but not really breaking up. Like, Quill kind of having to settle onto Earth, by himself, and then the Guardians, like, basically us going, because in the comics, Rocket is the leader of the team.
Yes.
Star-Lord is kind of like second in command, where this actually gave us that delineation of like Rocket and Groot and the new Guardians, like Kraglin.
Because in the comics, they did have a rotating roster. So
it was a very interesting. It gave me a lot of feels like we're Guardians 2, with Yondu.
We get like the proper uniforms.
You know, and they were wearing the Nova Corps uniforms. They
Yeah.
were wearing their Guardians uniforms from the comics. I mean, it was a lot of great nods and a lot of great send offs too, like for the actors, because we all know Batista. This was his last film.
Yes.
He's not in Secret Wars. Batista said he's not doing another Marvel film. He's done. I say that that's BS because we all know
Well,
Disney throws enough money at you, you'll come back.
well, I mean, he's had issues with Disney and the Marvel crew
Hey, Mike.
over the past couple years. Real Batman
RB,
in the house.
yeah, RB's in the house.
The
Your
one, the
dad,
only, the real Batman.
So I mean, this movie was a great way. It
I
hit
mean,
every note it needed to for me. It hit the comedy, it hit the drama, it hit the action, and it felt like there was no lull. For
okay.
like the other Guardians, I felt like there were lulls in the film, and they were still great films in and of themselves. But to me, this was a great finality to the series and a great send off for the actors. I 100% love this film. Lana and I, like I said, Lana and I cried. We showed scenes to Meredith. She even got misty eyed. It's hands down. It had to make this list.
I
That's
mean,
my number one.
it definitely was, and honestly, in our top 5, this is probably my number 1.
Wow. All right, so then
This one was my number 1. I will come up with an alternate, like we often do. But to me, like, I mean, Kraglin, seeing Yandu,
learning
and then
learning how to actually use the bow, the arrow. Sorry, the
Yeah.
arrow. That was a great.
I mean,
That was a
that
path
was
towards from Yandu to him.
yeah. I mean, that was a great scene. That was something people weren't really expecting.
Nebula's depth of character too. I mean, we
Uh,
all knew Nebula had depth.
Nebula coming, being the assassin, and then now being, who was once in charge of dispatching people, killing people, and now she's deciding, okay, I'm going to take care of Nowhere. I'm going to be the person to protect Nowhere. So that was very strong.
Number
it,
one. Dang.
it, yeah, well, it's number 1 for a lot of reasons. One, James Gunn.
Save your reason to tell us when you get to number 1.
Well,
So
I mean, because see, Guardians of the Galaxy hits on a lot of levels. And one, this was one of the first Guardians movie, was the one that I really got my wife really into
the MCU,
into Marvel. So there's that. They've always been a family. Even the first movie, they've always been a family. Okay. In life, you don't always get to pick your family. In this case, they did. They got to pick their family. So, I mean, there's that. Yandu being the father figure that was always kind of gruff and always, the person who's hard on you, In the second one, when the line that says, I may not be your father, but I'm your daddy. That hits me on so many levels because my dad, when you hear me talking about my dad, that's technically my stepfather. But he's the only person I ever called dad. So on me, that hits a lot of levels. It hits my wife on a lot of levels because my dad, as gruff as he was, he automatically accepted her and started calling her daughter even before we got married. It hits us on a lot of levels. My wife loves Groot. She loves Rocket. And yes. I mean,
his wife does love Groot.
Not even going into that.
We don't need to, but I just as a personal, because I know Dave well and I love Roxanne, his wife. Trust me.
You can't pick your family. Well, not always.
Listen, Batman, you're my friend.
Honestly, when it comes down to it, like, my real family are my friends.
I'm one of them.
Because those are the people that you can always count on, and when you're down, you can always go to them without judgment. And that's Guardians on so many levels.
Except for Batista's, except for Drax, he judges you, but he loves.
Yeah, but I mean, Drax, like, we saw Drax is always like this guy who was, always saying, like, always making Mantis feel like crap. Let's be honest. Always insulting her. But then we see him. I mean, even the Guardians were like, "Wow, you're really a father. You're perfect at being a dad." The bad jokes and how he, I mean, they gave him a great send off, Dave Bautista,
Oh yeah,
by
Batista,
allowing him
I think the best one.
to be a father, to be a father, and to take care of this, this long tribe of kids. So it gave him purpose. Yeah, real
The
Batman
RB,
says,
bro.
Dave, absolutely
The
true. No judgment is important whenever you need advice. It is.
RB is
Um,
the man.
um, the only gripe I had was like, when did Groot start going to the gym?
Oh, that's a teenage group. Remember, it was teenage group. So so I'm curious. What's your number 4? Since we now know this is your number 1. What's your number 4?
My number 4, I have it actually down here, so let me just pull that
I'm
up.
curious if it's any of the movies I picked.
I going through my list here very quickly because I just have a bunch of names down. Um, what was that one movie? It was on Netflix. I'm trying to think of or no, was it on Netflix? It was on Amazon Prime. God, I'm trying to think of the movie now. Hold on one second. Let me do a quick search for it.
Amazon Prime movie. What
Yeah, it's
year?
an Amazon Prime movie.
Who was in it?
I'm trying to think of the young girl, the one who played Cassie in Quantumania. You know who I'm talking about?
I know who you're talking about. And now you're making me look at this
It's
movie.
it's a time travel horror movie where she
Oh,
acts.
the mom, the one about the mom. The one where she goes back and she's a teenager to go stop her
No,
mom from being killed.
yeah, that one.
That's the one that's number 4.
Yeah,
Really?
because I enjoyed the
Wow.
hell out of it. I
That's
mean,
okay. So for those of you that don't know, the premise of this movie was the girl is a teenager in our time, and obviously the present day in 2023. Well, now 2024, and she ends up waking up in the past where her mom is the same age as her, and she realizes her mom is like a complete bitch, and like there's a
total stuck
guy
up. Yeah,
killing the
Catherine
kid.
Newton, and the movie was
I have that
uh
movie downloaded. I haven't watched it yet.
trying to pull it
I've
up
heard
right
about it.
now.
I just didn't watch. It didn't interest me enough to watch it.
It was a nice, fun, kind of hilarious movie. She's done a lot of quirky movies as of late. I'm trying to pull up the title right now. Hold on. Sorry about this, guys. I'm unprepared today, obviously.
All right. Her name is Catherine Newton, so I could dig from there. All right. It's called
Uh,
Freaky.
was it Freaky?
No, it's Vince Vaughn.
No, no, no. That's a different movie right there.
But I got
But
the actress. Yeah, she's Lisa Frankenstein. She was in Blockers too.
well, if I find the name of it, I'll bring it up. But no, no, it's not her. It's not her. It wasn't her. It was there's another blonde hair actress that I'm messing up. Um, hold on.
All right, give me a second. The map of tiny. No, it wasn't. This wasn't. You sure this was her?
Hold on. No, no, it wasn't her. It was someone else.
Yeah,
I'm
I was
trying
like,
to pull it up.
that definitely was. I like looking. I'm like, oh, that's definitely not the same movie. So as
Well,
David doing,
anyway, long story short, the movie involves this high school girl who her best friend's kind of nerdy, and she's trying to come up with a project for a science fair of time travel using this old photo booth that happened to be an amusement park like 30 some odd years before when there was a serial killer. And she accidentally goes back in time and she finds she's in her mom's high school. It's kind of like Back to the Future meets Scream, which I think is probably the best way to describe it. It's a
yeah,
hilarious movie. I'm just trying to think of the.
it's a really good assessment there, Dave.
I mean, it's got Back to the Future jokes in it. Like she even says to the cops, "Have you ever seen the movie Back to the Future?" Like, huh? Yeah. So I mean, it's not starring Catherine Newton. There's the. Did you ever see the Sabrina show on Netflix?
I did.
That girl is the one who's the time traveler. I just can't
Okay.
think of her name right now.
Just the, RB. Yes. So far, I did. I had Blue Beetle as number 5. Blue Beetle was number 5. Dave had his number 5 was Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Yes.
So Blue Beetle was there. That was the only DC movie that has made this list.
Well, there's not too many decent movies. So
There wasn't that many DC movies last year to begin with, so
was it Killer Queen? I think.
I think it's Killer Queen. Let me pull up her name, and it is totally killer.
Totally killer. I was close, but that movie, if you want something that's kind of like part scary movie, part Scream, part Back to the Future, this is that movie.
And it's straight
really,
comedy too. Like it's horror comedy. It's
yes.
like what you consider dark comedy horror would be what it ranks at. So
yeah, I mean it's a really good, enjoyable movie. You guys will get a kick out of it, and I think you'll really like the actress. So that's my number 4 right there. And Dre is stepping off to the side. But to me, like, top 5 movies don't have to be movies. Yeah, Real Batman says Prey was a great movie in his opinion. I still have to yet to watch that, to be perfectly honest. I'm still trying to catch up on a lot of things. Just been busy with the outside world. Trying to find a job. But that movie, it makes you forget about everything for a good hour and a half. It's just a fun movie, and it's got the comedy. It's got all the Back to the Future kind of stuff, just messing with you. It's just really awesome. Hey, we got Blue Sasquatch in the chat. So we're going to move on to Dre's number 3, which was Oppenheimer. We'll give Dre a minute to come back so he can talk about his pick.
I was talking to my wife. She just got home. Obviously, I'm going to pick Oppenheimer because I have it right here. And
didn't you talk to your wife yesterday?
No, I talk to her every day. She's got home from work. So here, obviously, this was one of the hardest Blu-rays for me to actually come by because for those of you that don't know, Oppenheimer, when it was released on Blu-ray, was like damn near sold out everywhere. So I looked out that I went to a Target that was in the middle of nowhere, which we have like a few of those, and they had like 2 left, and I grabbed one. And for me, as a fan of biopics, it's Christopher Nolan. One, I love Nolan stuff. I mean, everything that he touches, I feel is golden. Even the people that hated Tenet, and y'all can kiss my ass because Tenet was a great film. Oppenheimer was awesome. I think that it is a good film. I know that Japan banned parts of this movie because you couldn't see this film in Japan because of obviously it is where we dropped the nuclear bombs on. Let's be real. As a historian, love this film. Cillian Murphy killed it, and he's a longtime actor that's been deserving of the Oscar nod
he kills it in everything.
Exactly, from Peaky Blinders to 28 Days Later, 28 Weeks Later. I can go down the list of everything he's touched that he's awesome in. He did such a fantastic job. And as a fellow historian who got to see this film because one of my former coworkers who was a social studies teacher saw this film with me, and we both loved it. So, exactly. Can Nolan touch me and I could turn to gold? RB, you gotta just hit him up. He got his Golden Globe. He's waiting for the Oscar nod. And like I already said, Robert Downey, Best Supporting Actor, Oscar nod.
I mean, honestly, this shows because honestly, Robert Downey has done other movies since the MCU and during the MCU, but he doesn't get the attention. And I think this will kind of open up a lot of directors to saying, "Hey, yeah, we can look at him, we can look at RDJ, and we can think of him for other films now because he did a movie. God, was it The Attorney? I'm trying to think what there was a movie he did in between his Iron Man stints and the Avenger movies, where he comes back to his hometown and he's actually defending his father, who is a judge.
Oh, I remember that.
Before his
that wasn't even really
before his father passes away. and that was a really great movie. I think it was called The Advocate. I think the name of it was. Real Batman says, I am proud of Robert and everything he has he had to overcome and turn his life around. I mean, yeah, he's always been a really great actor, especially a comedic actor, but he's done some serious roles. I mean, Chaplin. I mean, he's done a lot of great stuff, and it's great to see that he's now obviously he did completely turn his life around, and I think Iron Man was a big part of that. They figured, hey, let's grab him to play the Playboy, who's kind of always in trouble. I mean, he played himself, but then that was a springboard to kind of like really a wake up call for him, and he turned his life around. He was, those who don't know, he was in and out of rehabs and getting arrested on a repeat basis, cocaine, drugs, and everything else. He was a part of that Brat Pack
So was
back
his
in the
son.
80s.
So was his son. Don't forget, RDJ's son,
Yeah.
Jr. was also, people
But
didn't
no,
know,
I was,
between Iron Man 1 and 2. And I think
but I was,
his son got into some deep
yeah.
trouble with the law because of drug use and everything.
No, but we were talking about how Real Batman said about how he was proud about how Robert turned everything around and overcome everything.
100%. And this is proof.
So
This is
yeah,
proof.
and I mean, yeah, he was in and out of rehabs and getting arrested on a regular basis, and he's done some really good movies. But then, I mean, I think Iron Man and the MCU saved him.
It did. Disney did it. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna, the mouse knew what it was doing. And honestly,
that was just before Disney bought Marvel, though. I think it wasn't okay.
Nope.
I'm mistaken. But I mean, that's just it just shows you that. I mean, in Cillian Murphy, first movie I saw him in was 28. Was it 28 Days Later?
Yep, 28 days and 28 weeks.
Great movie, low budget, mind you.
Peaky Blinders. If you watch Netflix, and you guys
never saw it. Never saw Peaky.
There's a lot of great stuff that he's done. And like I said, this was my number 3 film because I have my number 2 and my number 1. Those are 100%. Those are solid choices I made. And I'm just saying that for those of you that have not seen this film, I don't know what service is going to get it. I'm thinking Max might be the one that's going to get it. If
Well,
Max
we know Nolan doesn't like Netflix, so
exactly. So, but Nolan stuff has been on Netflix. So
yes,
I'm going to be honest with you. Expect this to show up on Max or Hulu and watch it. It's a long film, but it's a damn good movie. It's Nolan, so it's like 3 hours.
But Cillian Murphy, now this is also my number 3. Now, Cillian Murphy, like he went the approach. Now, of course, this is Nolan knows how to pick actors. And let's be honest, like I mean, look at Christian Bale as Batman, but look at some of the stuff. Like, was it The Mechanic? I think it was called, or no, The Machinist. When Christian Bale lost tons of weight, Cillian Murphy was on a very strict diet, so he would look very thin and almost frail at times. There's interviews with the actors how they were always inviting him to dinner, but he was passing on it because he was on his strict regimen to be very skinny and frail at times. And you have to give it up to a method actor like that, or someone who's so dedicated to that role that they're going to do whatever they have to, even if they might potentially harm themselves.
Dave, can we take a pause for a second and just acknowledge this great comment that RB just said? I'm blowing up the chat, having a blast chatting with real community people and content creators. Can I just say
appreciate that?
That's a very big compliment to both of us. We work really hard to maintain our community, and it's for guys like you and the girls that we have in our chat that come through, like Britterbug, Late Vader's Girl, and several others that support what we do. So thank you. That really means a lot. Coming, I just wanted to acknowledge that.
Definitely. Joseph chiming in, heck yeah, Batman, woo. But yeah, I mean, you have titans in this movie. Let's be honest. I mean, you get Cillian Murphy, Emily Blunt, not to be blunt about this, Matt Damon, of course,
Robert Downey,
and of course, one of my celeb crushes right now, Florence.
That's my best friend Eric's. That's his girl crush right now.
She is amazing in everything she does. Come on, she was friggin' I'm sorry, but the Black Widow movie,
Yelena Belova.
she was killing it in that.
Well,
And
she
she
did
was
great in the wrestling movie
freaking
where she played Paige.
yeah.
She did great in that kind of
She
domestic horror film where she plays like the Stepford wife that's kind of blind to
well
things, but really all the crazy stuff.
she's got great
Great.
comedic timing. Like, did you see
She's not ready
the
as an actress.
oh,
She's so young. She's only like she's in her mid-20s.
did you see the Hawkeye show on
Yes, I did.
Netflix
Of course.
Disney Plus? I mean, she was amazing in that.
She did a great job.
You could do a show with her and Kate Stewart, or not Kate Stewart, but Haley Steinfeld. How could I forget Josh Allen's girlfriend right now, man? How could I forget that? I mean, you could you can give us a series on just those two, or even a movie.
Young Avengers coming soon.
Yeah, no, but I'm
like that out there.
I mean, no, you could do like a sitcom with just those two, like not even action, just have those two. And this like Steinfeld plays the perfect straight arrow, no pun intended, and Florence is just she's freaking hilarious. I mean, I would love to see her do some kind of improv at some point. I think she's one of those powerhouses. I think that she's going to be someone that we're going to be talking about for decades to come. To be perfectly honest,
she's a great young actress that I see lots of positive things for.
You know,
I feel like you're looking if you look at the actresses that we're seeing now, Florence Pugh, Haley Atwell, you know,
dude.
I mean, I'm naming names because I see a lot of potential in what's coming down the pipe, and I'm glad that
did you mean Steinfeld or Atwell?
No, Atwell was Haley Atwell. I said who I meant.
Okay.
Because she's done both voice acting as well as real live acting, and has solidified herself as a character actress as well as a good actress in general. And she's gorgeous.
That too. But yeah, I mean, let's be honest. Some people can say, "Oh, it's 3 hours long." You know what? Some of the best movies friggin' are. I mean,
yeah.
What now? I'm going to put this in a category that some people might not agree with. It is a biopic, so I'm going to put this up there with like JFK. I think that's that kind of caliber.
This would be in your Dunkirk, which is also Christopher Nolan, which I also own. I mean, and I know that Colin has been dying for us to do something like that. And Colin, I did plan to do. It's going to be around maybe
Memorial Ricardo.
Day. So I will do a plan for that, and we'd love to have you on the show to do a Nolan kind of anthology of wartime films,
Nolan
World War I and World War II. So we will. That is coming. Just to let you guys know.
So yeah, so this is our number 3.
All right, so let's go to number 2. Now, folks, I want to. There's so
I can't comment on this one. I haven't seen it.
I literally, I was talking to my local comic shop owner, Troy. I love you, brother, because I know you do watch the show. And he is my local friend here, who is a huge one thing he collects is Godzilla merchandise, Godzilla fandom. And I went to see this in theaters the last day that they had put it in before they extended another week. And when I sat in the theater for this film, I was 100% blown away. And when I mean blown away,
I'm probably the same, Archer.
It is by far one of it is now, mind you, I was talking to my friend Chris, who I went to the AEW Collision show with on Saturday. He's waiting for it to come back to Charlotte because they're supposed to be opening it back up to US, I think, right before the Oscars, and they're going to be giving it the black and white, so you get the original. Seeing this in color was awesome. Godzilla, following the timeline for Godzilla and seeing how he changes and he grows and evolves, seeing that, and it's not a Godzilla film. I want to state that very clearly. This is not a film about Godzilla. This is a film about people surviving the atrocities of World War II and dealing with the kaiju. Now, mind you, when I state this, the film has several nods to classic Toho Godzilla, So the CGI parts are completely the guy like looks like he's in the rubber suit. He walks like he's in the rubber suit. Hilarious. They use the same roar. They use the same music. They even give you the teaser at the end of the film, which I loved. Absolutely loved that. So there is not like an exact like end credit scene, but there is something to stay to the very, very end to watch. Also, for those of you that don't know, this is by the same team who did the Neon Genesis Evangelion, films. Now, for anime fans, Eva is very polarizing. You either loved it or hate it. And they were the ones who did Shin Godzilla several years ago, and that won several awards because it was a very politically driven film for Tokyo and for Japan. This film eclipsed. It is now worldwide shattered box office numbers. If you don't believe me, go look it up. If you don't believe me, go to Hey Archer because I know Hey Archer does the same thing I do, goes to the same websites I do. The numbers have been shattered, records have been shattered. This film, with a limited release, it sells out every time slot that it gets.
Who are you going to
And
sell out?
it's by far, like I said, it is the best. This would have been number one if not for another film that obviously I'm completely biased and will state my reasons for why it's number one. But it was this would have been number one. But this I'm waiting for it to come on Steelbook. I know that they have not put it up yet, but the Steelbook looks like the poster I currently have on the screen. And I'm trying to get a Japanese friend of mine to get me a copy of the poster from Tokyo to get it here so I can actually put it on the wall.
And by the way, I think I know what your number one movie is.
Oh, you already know my number one. I have the Blu-ray already next to me. I'm ready for it. Duh. Your Christmas gift? You don't think so? Come on, I was biased. Like I said, I was completely biased. But yeah, that was my number two film. And, I have said I would love to do I could do a whole hour talk.
I'll be honest, I'm going to piss you off of my number two film because all these films I'm picking today are films that they may not be the greatest movies, but to me, I had tons of enjoyment watching said movies. Okay?
That's weird, RB, because I'm seeing the comments in the stream on the side.
Okay.
We use StreamYard.
No. The reason why he's not seeing them is if he's watching it specifically on your channel, but someone is commenting on either my channel or on the Outer Dimension podcast channel.
Got you.
That would be why he's not seeing all the comments.
All right, so there you go. So if you're watching it on my personal channel, on the Collector Safe Space, or if you're watching it on Dave's Dimension, you're not going to see everything. So
we're simulcasting this on 3 separate channels because we have a YouTube channel for the Outer Dimension podcast,
and both are personal.
We have Dave's Dimension, and we have the Collector Safe Space. So those are 3 separate channels. So if you're watching on one, you won't see all 3. Unfortunately, there's no fix for that we have right now.
We've talked to them. I have emailed them about it, but they haven't responded. So I did ask. Yeah, that's my number 2. It would have been number 1.
Yep. So my number 2 is Renfield.
I fucking hate that movie. Pardon my friends, I fucking hate that movie. I love Dave. You're my brother, and I love you.
Well, I told you. I said people may not agree, but these are 5 movies that I thoroughly enjoyed from 2023. Renfield was one of those guilty pleasure movies.
I should have put a criteria.
Well, that's what you get for missing media.
That's what I get. That's what I get. Next year, I got to do that. 2025, I'm going to set myself up better. Yep.
So, Renfield to me was just a fun waste of 2 hours. It was a fun, crazy waste of time. Come on, how many years have you been waiting to see Nicolas Cage play Dracula? Come on. I mean, it was just one of those. It's a comical look at. If you ever seen any Dracula movies, he always has that kind of semi-mortal assistant known as Renfield, that human that can walk in the daylight, fetch some victims, and do whatever he needs. If he needs his, cape dry cleaned, whatever kind of daytimes.
Terrible in that movie is the police officer.
Okay, Awkwafina is she's funny, but she's annoying at times. I mean,
It's
it
not
isn't the
delivery.
great. It isn't the greatest written movie, but man, was it bloody? The amount of blood, the copious amounts of blood that they used in it.
The scene. Now, mind you, folks, I did watch this film because you know that we here on this channel, we will watch the film, even if it's bad. We watch it to give you an honest opinion. The
Yes.
scene in the rehab, when he goes to the rehab, where Dave's talking about the bloodiest scene in the movie,
Yeah.
that in the club are the two bloodiest scenes. And
Yeah,
again,
it's like like a support group for people in bad relationships. Uh, Real Batman says, "Sorry, Dave, it's a no for me too." That said, it's okay. We don't all like the same movies, and I mean, you get Nicholas Holt, who's going to be our Lex Luthor in the new Superman Legacy movie. He plays the title character of Renfield, who he doesn't want to kill people anymore. He wants something out of life. And he runs into this cop. He actually saves a bunch of people, and he's trying to get away from Dracula, but Dracula gets to the point where he wants to make Renfield feel pain and feel suffering. So he actually somehow teams up with like a local New Orleans like mob or something. If I remember it correctly, and he actually turns some of them, which is freaking hilarious. I mean, it's just Nicolas Cage. We know him as playing someone who plays a caricature of characters. He plays things over the top, and let's be honest, he plays Dracula over the top, does he not?
no comment.
Dre's like, I don't know you.
I hated this film. I can't. There is so much viscera in me when I think of this movie because Dave knows. Like, you don't understand. I
But
was on the phone with him when I watched this film. I was like, dude, this movie's terrible. I hate this movie. Roxanne hears me say this, and his wife is like, this movie was great. We loved it. And I was like, I literally, my soul died.
yeah, but I'm also the type of person who I will watch awesomely bad movies. Like, I'm that guy who grew up watching MST3K, Mystery Science Theater
Oh my
3000.
God, we're the same age.
Okay,
This movie was not that level of awesomely bad. This was just
listen,
bad.
I thoroughly enjoy Howard the Duck. I enjoyed Traumaville movies like
Trauma. No, see,
Toxic
Trauma's
Avenger,
bad for bad
Kabuki
good
Cop.
sake.
Kabuki Cop. I mean, though, like those really awesomely bad movies are movies I will sit down and watch.
I want someone want to punch.
So, huh?
I was reading Arby's comment.
Oh, so Hawaiian Punch, or if you're in the hood, Tahitian Treat.
Each treat was good stuff.
Dude, see, I'm from the hood. How else would I know that, right?
Tahitian treat was the
That and Fago. What?
I don't do Fago. Fago no. We do Tahitian treat.
Well, no, you get like the Fago cola, the Fago root beer back in the day.
Fago was if you that was if you were really you didn't have you couldn't afford $1.
You get those for like you get a 2 liter for like 79 cents. You get what you get. Okay.
In New York, we had White Rose. In the city, in the hood, we had White Rose. White Rose pineapple.
No,
White Rose.
Never heard of that.
See, that was a brand that was only in the hoods of New York City. So I had White Rose. Archer may know it.
Archer says his number one movie was be Mission Impossible.
That movie was gonna make my list. It was number 6.
Okay.
Number 6.
So we've established that Dre is totally against Renfield. I enjoyed the hell out of it. I enjoyed Nicolas Cage being that caricature of characters.
I like him too, but there's Nicolas Cage. You fall from grace to
it's mindless. It's mindless comedy. Just give me a quarter water. Dre knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Quarter waters.
But let's go on. I honestly haven't seen the Mission Impossible that came out this year, so
I haven't. I thought I gave you the code for Blu-ray.
No.
Yes, I did. I gave you the code.
No, we'll have to talk about that later.
We double check my Blu-ray.
But he says Mission Impossible was awesome.
It was. That was a great film. Great film.
Okay. Ooh, this is a good one.
Now, of course, my honorable mention. There's a reason why this film made the cut.
Okay.
I have not liked Michael Bay's Transformer films. They were not all good. I love Peter Cullen as the voice
Of
of
Optimus Prime.
Optimus Prime. You're gonna always love that. Bumblebee was a
Come
good
on, come
film.
on.
It was a good film. Now
It
the
was
reason.
it was Transformers and ET all
Now
rolled
wait.
into one. Let's be honest.
Now wait. There's a reason why this film made the honorable mention list.
Ron
For
Perlman.
those of you that don't know my littlest one, Rory, and for most of you guys that do know, you guys know you've seen her on the channel.
Peanut.
Peanut, obviously. Dave, that's my brother. He knows.
Codename Peanut.
Codename Peanut. She has had an infatuation with robots since this movie came out. I bought it on Blu-ray, and she sat with me, and we've watched it every night since I bought the Blu-ray. She loves this movie. She loves seeing the animals. We have watched every Bay Transformers movie. Her favorite one is obviously Dark of the Moon because you get Grimlock, and she loves dinosaurs. She loved Bumblebee.
I'm sorry.
No. She knows what Bumblebee looks like.
I will never call him Grimlock. I'm sorry. He looks too much like. No.
I know. And of course, I agree with you, Ricardo. I wanted to see Optimus Primal. This film, for me, was the perfect nod to Hasbro before they started screwing up all their other Hasbro properties to say, we're going to make a multiverse and make a movieverse like G.I. Joe and Transformers, which would be the perfect marriage because they've done it already in the comics. They've done it fans have written this fan fiction for years. IDW has made several crossover comics. This film was fantastic.
Archer, I forgot about this. Also when Dre said that this was his honorable mention. I was like, oh yeah, that's a really good one right there.
It stuck in. And it was funny because this came out in late January around Father's Day, and I never got to go see it in the theaters because my wife didn't want to go see it, and we were kind of on a weird kick. We didn't know if Rory wanted. I didn't know if Rory wanted to go see it in the theaters, so I waited till Blu-ray around. I think it was like October, and that's when I bought it. And like I said, every day since she'll go, Papa, robots.
And shout out to Anthony, Rambling Nerd, in the chat.
Shout out to Anthony. Thank you for coming through, bro. Oh, that fight scene was straight ripped out from the tower.
Oh, yes. Definitely.
But I did love the voice actors. Michelle Yeoh. Okay, I will say this.
Come on. Michelle Yeoh
was a throwaway for Airazor. I felt that she was a throwaway. Because
they could have thrown a lot of different people in there. I don't know if maybe there was a contract with the studio with her. Possibly.
There had to have been, and the fact that she had the Oscar nod for Everything Everywhere All at Once, was like.
Don't hate me. I still have to watch that.
That movie's freaking.
I still have to watch it.
It's fantastic. I love it. I have to upload it to the drive.
But I mean, she's too awesome just to be a voice. But also, with that same argument, can be said about Ron Perlman. But he was great as
Perlman was in the film, though. Like. Ron Perlman was in it from the beginning. Like Airazor's voice changed. Airazor was a male voice when he was on the planet that the Beast
and Beast Wars, yes.
And then
Airazor was a male transformer.
It was Then Airazor becomes a female, which, if I remember correctly, in the cartoons or the CGI cartoons, Airazor was a female character. I could be wrong.
No, you're not. Trust me.
So I didn't understand why we started Airazor as a male character, and Airazor also was the first triple changer in Beast Wars because Airazor had 3 forms: vehicle, beast, and robot.
Yeah.
So why we didn't get that in here, I kind of was confused about that. But I was okay because I know there was beast metals, and that's a whole different universe and concept.
Well, there's a lot of. I mean, if you want to be a Transformer head and really break it down, there's so many inconsistencies in here, like RC coming to Earth. Now, in the Bayverse, RC looks completely different later on, or it's chronologically later on.
And they fixed her in this one. They did a great job because I've seen the 3-0.
I mean, she looks great.
She's
cartoon
pulled out of the cartoon.
They also don't fully explain, like, okay. Because I mean, if you're a Transformer fan, like her and all the basically 1986 movie Transformers. Though she was part of that new set of Transformers who came in.
Yeah, the Hot Rod, Ultra
Yeah, I mean,
Magnus.
we don't see or hear a mention of, we hear like the RC, was it the RC twins that they had like 3 female Transformers that
that
all
was
turned
bad
into alternate into motorcycles.
But here
we
they did it right, and I think
yeah,
that that's
they
what
they
made
did it right. And personally, as a Transformer fan, I would love it if they erased the rest of the Bayverse movies and just
keep
kind of,
Bumblebee, keep
yeah,
Bumblebee.
keep Bumblebee, but move forward from this point in time as a different timeline.
Well, this is in the mid '90s. That was and the music in this film,
Yeah.
fantastic for
Oh,
anybody that grew up in the '90s that loved hip hop.
movie was they killed it with the freaking with the music in here. They killed it with the music.
I'm sorry for laughing so hard. that reference, RB. Dave, just remember the conversation you and I had last night.
Yep.
That's RB. You just killed me, bro. Slayed it.
Ricardo says, I hated that they didn't have Rat Trap in the movie. True.
You know what? Honestly, Rhinox was perfect, and I didn't think Rhinox had enough screen time.
Bumblebee might not be Bayverse. I think it's a soft reboot. And honestly, I said this before this movie even came out. To me, Bumblebee, they could leave that as a reboot and just move forward from there because
Bumblebee's
come on.
years earlier too. So Bumblebee would
look at Prime,
early '90s and late '80s.
This is the Prime we are meant to have. In Bumblebee and in this one, this is the Prime we were meant to have the entire time. So erase everything, just like J.J. Abrams did with Star Trek. They gave us a viable alternate timeline without ruining the original timeline. So yeah, they could definitely go forward. I love the G.I. Joe.
At the end, the G.I. Joe
Easter egg at the end. But if you are a heavy, and I do mean heavy Transformer fan, you'll love how they went to Kara with us, with our boy here, when he got to suit up.
Oh, when he got to fighting, actually be,
and he was fighting Scourge with Prime.
Come on, that was my jam. When he actually got to fight him, and he picked up the gun, and he blasted him. I was like, yo.
And anybody out there, anybody out there that doesn't know, you look up the origin of Transformers and toys, and you will see that is a legitimate character. That was armor that different characters wore. Humans teaming up with the Transformers. That goes back to that obviously the Japanese animations. That was a real thing that they had in cartoons way back when.
It's true.
And even before Transformers was Transformers, they had a separate line of toys. I'm trying to think what the actual name of it was, but they were basically transforming vehicles that were partnered up with humans. So I mean that is a deep dive for hardcore Transformer fans, and I freaking loved it.
It was great.
And the fact
the fact that my 3-year-old is a Transformers fan now.
Yeah.
She has Transformers. She has we got her for Santa bought her an Optimus Prime that she loves, that she plays with every day. She has a Bumblebee Transformer she plays with every day. I mean, it's just awesome as a dad that she got into this, and now she wanted to see more. Like, she'll tell me, Papa, Bumblebee, Papa. She'll be like, oh, robots, Papa, and I know what film she wants to watch. So again, hands down, like, the film wins, and it's kind of been a thread.
Diaclone, that's what I was forgetting.
Oh yeah, Diaclone.
They're based on Microchange and Diaclone. That's what they're originally based off of. But I mean, if they go forward with this,
I don't know. Hold on, Dave. Say your honorable mention about my wife or something.
Okay, but yeah, I mean, Rise of the Beasts, they can do so much with this, and I mean, this is what take a look at Prime right here. In Optimus Primal, Ron Perlman was great as Optimus Primal. I don't think I can think of a better person who they could get to voice Optimus Primal. What do you guys think in the chat? I mean, we had Cheetor, we had Rhinox, Bumblebee being taken out, but then also coming back because let's face it, Bumblebee he's the Kenny of Transformers, him and Prime. They keep getting killed and they come back and they come back and they come back. Oh, what? Ricardo said, not a Millennium, enjoy the stream. Because Millennium asked, what's up?
I'm back.
Colin says, I loved Beast Wars as a kid. I think everyone did. I mean, honestly, there's a local discount outlet store that begins with the letter O in my area that still have Beast War figures on sale. If you're a big fan, hit up all those discount stores, those discount outlet stores near you. You'll probably find a bunch of Beast War figures there. I've seen Air Razor, the OG Air Razor, that is. I've seen Megatron with his T-Rex transforming self.
And then they
So
had
I've seen a bunch of
they
those.
had like the three-headed dragon that was from the movie that they did, the Rising film that came
Yeah.
to Netflix in like early 2020.
Bumblebee is a must. Yeah, I mean, there are some model kits for Bumblebee, and for Bumblebee Prime, and even for RC.
Yeah, the
I would
food
love
art
to get those, but like right now, I'm on a hold with a lot of things. If anyone that knows me, they know what's going on. So once that resolves, I will definitely love to get the Prime kit.
And for those of you that
Bumblebee.
are looking for Foodeye, if you guys want to, the Foodeye kits are about $40. They're beautiful, but they're not transformable. And if you want to spend, if you have the expendable income to do this, I would
And that is
going
there
for
we go.
the
Me
3-0.
and Drake type. There we go. We put Furai. It's Furai. If I am correct.
Yeah, that Amazon sells them for about $40 after the shipping and tax. If you pay shipping and tax, you can't find those in retailers. You can find them like in comic book shops and maybe Barnes and Nobles. I've heard people said they've seen them. And the other thing you can look for, which is a little bit more expensive, are the 3-0 statues and figures. The figures are about $90 to $100, and the statues are about $250 to $400. They're die cast, and they are.
They have done some smaller ones, and I'm hoping they do those again.
Well, yeah, they've done Cliff Jumper, Starscream,
Bumblebee,
Megatron,
the OG Bumblebee,
Prime, Nemesis Prime, and Soundwave. Those are the ones they've done for 3-0.
Hold on 1 second.
So I'm gonna just say that if you guys are definitely looking into that, now obviously we're sidetracked on this, but 100%, I love the 3-0 figures. I never got to buy any of them. Yeah, that's the Bumblebee. Looks dope.
This is the OG Bumblebee,
and it doesn't transform, folks, but it looks pretty damn good.
He is full on die cast.
RB, that's why I'm not getting them.
I mean, you get mechanical details right there.
And even just the wear, like the 3-0 does a lot of great detail on like the actual wear and tear of like
the weathering,
like metal.
Yeah.
So, damn good job. So, Dave, did you have an honorable mention?
I'm going to say I'm going to stick with Rise of the Beast because that really was a great movie.
It was. Now, obviously, wait, before we go to number one, I'm going to just show it. Dave, you could go open it up, but I'm going to put it on the screen.
Shocker.
Go figure Dre would pick Across the Spider-Verse as my number one film. I mean, hands down.
No, I didn't see that.
My wife just said, no, I didn't see that one coming. I mean, again, another film I took my family to go see.
You poor woman. You have to live with him.
She decided.
It goes much beyond just
I love you too. Yeah, love you too.
She's nodding her head and like, yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know. She's over there looking for something for Peanut. She's just like, yeah. So
Saint Meredith, right?
that's the love of my life right there. But
I thought Miles was.
So for those of you that didn't know, obviously, I could show you guys behind me my number one superhero, Spider-Man, and Miles Morales being my Spider-Man. This film was hands down probably one of the best animated films I saw last year. And look at my wife. If you guys want to get on camera, just so you can see a picture of my wife. Right here.
Nobody puts Miles in the corner.
That's my wife right there, folks. Right.
Ronald Patchbuckle.
This is what my wife does. She has to be silly. I love her to death, though. So, but yeah. So this film, hands down, for me, was one of the best animated films of the year. I think nothing Disney put out last year, nothing that was done out of Japan, nothing touches this film. I think we waited a lot. We waited 4 years to get a sequel, and we got a sequel. And are we upset that we're waiting another year to get another sequel? Yes. But am I glad that we're getting it?
I'm not. I'm not. Just for the sheer fact that we know how overworked the animators, the actual makers of the
Well, that's why
movie
they're giving
were.
them an extra year to kind of relax because of what happened with the Actors Guilds and the strikes, and they're giving them time to actually develop and further. Because I mean, like I said, the end of the film, I want a Spider-Man India toy. Marvel, you guys are killing me. At least make a freaking hot toy of them. I get that, but they're killing me. They're not making enough toys of it. You know,
Yeah.
we this film for me was what you wanted to see out of a Spider-Man film. It
Well, yeah,
is.
because it gave you so many different. It showed you the multiverse of Spider-Man and Peter Parker. It showed you that, yeah, Peter Parker and Miles Morales aren't the only spiders out there. There are
Well,
so many infinite numbers and inclusions.
well, let's just go the route that this film didn't even focus on him. This movie. So for context, the first film, obviously the origin story, we had to focus on Miles. This one was focusing more on his relationship with Gwen, and really was a Gwen story, which I thought was really needed because her character's got depth. My wife, myself, and Lana got to meet Robbie Rodriguez, who is the creator and artist for Spider Gwen back in 2018, 2019. No, 2019, sorry. We met him.
And which is a superhero name right there. I mean, come on, Robbie Rodriguez.
Robbie Rodriguez,
I mean,
so
that's just a superhero name right there.
and we got to meet Robbie Rodriguez, and it was awesome. I actually have a print over here which I got to frame. I'll post it to Instagram so you guys can see it. Signed by him, and he's actually a really low key, quiet guy. And to see this character of Gwen just get so developed and so like you feel for her character, you understand why with great power comes great responsibility. We understand
Yeah.
her moment that we have to have. And I mean, Oscar Isaacs as Miguel kills it. Loved him. Loved
I
his
mean,
character.
he's a great actor. I mean, I thought he was great in Moon Knight, and he friggin' killed it as Miguel. Let's be honest.
I mean, the fact that he himself is a humbled character, and actually his comic book series just came out. What was it? I just got it. Let me pull it out so people can see it. I'm sorry. I know I'm doing this like kind of janky, but
it's you.
It's funny that this is the #1 film, and Ultimate Spider-Man #1 just came out. The new Spider-Man book. Cover art by J. Scott Campbell. Love it. Can't wait to read it. And let me see. Here it is. And Miguel O'Hara has his own new book. This is book 2. Book 1 came out last month. So I'll be doing reviews on my personal channel for these. But
And, I mean, we get another mention of Haley Steinfeld because she's Spider-Gwen.
and she's the voice of Gwen, and she killed it. I mean, Lauren Velez as the mom, she does a great job. They tie in everything from the first film.
Let's go through the whole cast. You get Jason Schwartzman as the Spot, which is kind of a goofy little small character for a good actor.
Oh, definitely.
Andrew Garfield does make an appearance.
Yes, he does. So does Toby.
I mean, Donald Glover
as a Prowler.
I mean, there's so many here. I mean, Daniel Kaluuya
played Spider-Punk. As Hobie. He was Spider-Punk.
And of course, we know him from Black Panther.
Yes, he was. He was Okoye's husband.
Yep. Anyone who's a Deadpool fan, you'll appreciate this. Karan Sony Pinder. Depinder
Depinder
was
was-
played a Spider-Man in there.
Yeah, he was Spider-Man India. Pravat.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Andy Samberg plays Ben Riley.
Yes, he does, which I loved it.
Of course, I mean Shamik Moore just kills it as Miles. Let's be honest.
He does. Such a fantastic.
I mean, you get let's see, Luna Loren Velez, who plays Miles's mother. And I'm sorry, but I go all the way back to New York Undercover with her.
Yep.
That's all I'm saying. That's all.
We saw her.
Okay.
We saw her. She looked hot.
And
then.
I mean, she's been in a lot of stuff. Like she was in the Dexter series, but I mean, she is a great actress.
And she does a great job as the mom. Like it's for anybody that had a Puerto Rican mom or Hispanic mom growing up.
Yep.
And she
Toby
has
was in there.
She has kids, and
Yep.
she talks about like her experience as being a mom, making the film. There's a lot of great stuff. If you follow her on Instagram, she posted such a great amount of stuff that talks about this film and her experiences. I can't say anything bad about this film except that I want the sequel now.
Okay, so I'm going through all the names from this film, and there's names here that I did not even know were involved. Of course, Jake Johnson plays Spider-Man.
Yes, he does.
You know, he plays, or should I say Spider-Dad? I should say,
Yeah,
because
Peter
he's
Parker.
got his
Peter
little
Peter
one.
B. Parker. He plays Peter B.
Yeah.
Parker.
Now, apparently, he has said
He
that
wasn't live action.
he would do, but under certain circumstances. Of course, Toby was in there. Rachel Dratch, who people will know her from Saturday Night Live, she actually was in there. Jack Quaid from The Boys was Earth 65 Peter Parker. Interesting.
Yes,
Of course, Chris Pine was in there. They list Nicolas Cage, of course, because he plays Spider-Man Noir, who obviously makes an appearance right at the end, and who will be obviously a heavy player in the next one. Post Malone. I didn't even know Post Malone was in this.
Yes, he was. Because he wrote the album for both movies.
Yeah. Well, no, they list him in the cast. So
yeah, he wrote. But I knew he got a role because he's a diehard nerd. Plays Magic. Plays Apex.
Now they have Brian Tier Henry played Jefferson Davis, but see that name is very familiar for DC fans. Jefferson Davis was also Black Lightning.
Yep, but that's no relation to Marvel.
No relation. But it's just funny that they use the names, and it's kind of cool to see that kind of name. Miles G. Morales, Jarrell Jerome. We also get, of course, the only man who really can play J. Jonah
Ali.
J. Jonah Jameson.
Oh yes. What was it? God, what's his name? DB Sweeney.
J.K. Simmons.
Oh, J.K. Simmons. Yeah, J.K.
I mean, come on. Come on, J. Jonah, J.K. I mean, it's very easy. Come on.
And he does every iteration of Parker. Parker.
I mean, we got Ziggy Marley here. Chris Miller. I mean, we get, of course, Penny Parker's back again, played by Kimiko Glenn. Alfred Molina actually played in here. I'm going to find out who he played. They list him. They list William Dafoe in here.
They were all in there because they mentioned
Dennis Leary.
They had the voice. They talk about it was in the moments when they were talking about like the web of
what did they call it? I forgot what there was a technical term like the defining moments or whatever, you will.
Yeah, it's like for those of you you have to have. God, I have to rewatch the movie now.
I guess we know what Dre's doing tonight.
Oh, I'll watch it again. I love that movie. I'll watch it every day. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, but see, as a bad habit, I can't just watch one. I have to watch them both.
Well, there's a story. There's a story behind this, folks. There's
a story about Mandy and Brady. What?
Dave tells me he never had Into the Spider-Verse.
No.
So I said, wait, what?
I didn't have the first one.
So he never had the first one. So came Christmas. I was like, oh. No, it was his birthday. I said, oh, I'm sending you your birthday and your Christmas gifts together. Boom.
October 15th, by the way, people.
They released both movies together. I said, you can't have an excuse to not have them. The Three-Headed Dragon Transformer was not last night. It was they called it Rising. It was something Beast Wars Rising. It was an animated movie that was made directly for Netflix. And it was only limited release on television, if I remember correctly, before it went to Netflix.
Are you talking about during the Transformer Prime series, there was a there was a
Three-headed dragon.
yeah, but I'm trying to remember. It was specifically called something. The series itself was like a sub series of it.
It was Predacking.
Uh, uh, something like was it the Hunters? There's it was called something like that.
The Wreckers. I know the Wreckers was the team like that. Bumblebee, Jazz, Wheeljack, Ironhide, Cliff Jumper. That they were like the guys that were the grunts on the ground. And then there was the God. Where's Phil? I need my fellow Transformer nerd because he knows all this stuff with me. I think it's called Predaking Rising.
No, Transformers Prime, Beast Hunters, Predacons Rising. That was the actual title.
Okay,
It was 2013 because I've watched Transformers Prime at least 5 times.
Yeah, Prime is awesome. Black Arachnia was a scary ass character.
That was a good show. Plus, it had, I mean, come on, it had Ernie Hudson. Yes,
of course.
So.
I know you're biased. We know. So,
and I mean, come on, they kill off the Rock in the first episode.
That's true.
Yeah.
So, obviously, folks, for me, I can go on and 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 on. And I own the only thing I don't own to this film.
Real Batman, you are right.
I will say this: the only thing I don't own to this film,
animated and non-animated.
I'm trying to think. There's 3 things I don't own to this film: the art book for the movie, the Beyond the Spider-Verse art book, which I want to get. I don't have the Miles Morales hot toy from Beyond the Spider-Verse, but I did put in a pre-order for the Miles G. Morales and the Spider-Punk from this that are coming out later this year. And the other thing I don't own is the SH Figuarts Miles from this film.
Yeah, thankfully to Dre, I got Spider-Punk. I still at some point I do want to get a Spider-Gwen. I just don't know which one I'm going to get. I might go the SH route at some point.
I'm going to eventually pick that one up when it drops a little bit because she's still
after I get a JOB.
She's still a little expensive. I mean, I'm going to get the SH Figuarts 2099 because I get the sculpted Miguel face.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to get rid of my 2099 animated one that's up there. So I'll be replacing him. And yeah, RB says it. SH is the jam. Look,
I've had one SH figure. Actually, I've had 2. One was Thor from Endgame, the all black.
That's a damn good
I had issues with it though. It was probably an individual QC issue, but I also had the Endgame Captain. That one, the arms, the limbs are friggin' terrible on that. But outside of that, I've heard that the quality control is kind of better on SH Figuarts.
Way better. Way better.
I mean, what are you gonna do? You're gonna spend like 25 on a figure that kind of looks okay, or spend another 30 or 40 on something that's gonna be a quality piece that every time you look at it, you're gonna smile and just
Dave just said everything
get the feels of
my video not that long ago about why I made that move to imports. Why I've stepped away from the $25 figures. Now, granted, I'm not gonna lie. Every now and then, I do pick them up because I love the head sculpts. Because that's the best RDJ you're gonna get.
Well, those that don't know, me and Dre had a conversation about this because he was debating getting a certain figure, Doc Ock, I believe it was.
Yep, that was recent.
And we were talking. He was telling me like, I could pick this up, or
almost did it again today,
or wait a year and get something that's really going to be real quality. I'm like, it just makes more sense to that money you would have spent on that, put it towards that figure at a later point because you're going to get a better quality item.
Well, look at SH. Okay, so SH Figuarts did the did the Green Goblin from the
Real Batman. You ain't lying.
Oh, I know he does. And now I'm going off on a quick rant.
Yes.
So Green Goblin came out. SH Figuarts has him. He's an expensive figure. Granted, you get a lot of cool shit for the price. You're paying $200.
Yes, sir.
You're getting a lot of great stuff. You get a stand, you get the glider, you get the figure, multiple head sculpts, multiple weapons. Amazing. Marvel Legend is a third of that price. Or sorry, a fourth of that price. Right? They charge $50 for him.
But you get almost no accessories. You get almost no accessories. You're lucky if you get an extra set of hands.
And you get a stand for the glider. And it's a cheap stand. $50.
Yep.
I bought the $50 one because I had a bunch of coupons and things, and I got it for like $20. Would I have rather spent 200 and gotten the better one? Yes, but again, I'm not collecting the villains of Spider-Man. I'm collecting the heroes of Spider-Man, the Spider-Men and women characters. So I didn't feel like that was worth my investment. But have I spent $100 on, or like 50 to 100? Yeah, because this is SH Figuarts from Far From Home. So I will spend it when I have it, and I can catch a deal to get the SH Figuarts because they're better quality.
Yeah.
You know, so, and Mafex obviously, because I have 4 Mafex Spider-Men. So, but that's, you know, that's a conversation for a different time and a different channel. So Marvel definitely did make the top 2 of the top films for each of us, because obviously Dave said Guardians of the Galaxy was his number 1 film, and for obvious reasons, you understand why. You heard it.
But I do have an alternate since we already discussed it.
What's your
My
alternate?
alternate is a tie. Evil Dead Rise. I know. I'm an Evil Dead person, so
I am too.
I thought it was a good reboot of
good
Evil
reboot.
Dead.
Top 10 movie, yes. Top 20 movie, yes.
And also John Wick 4.
John Wick was number 7.
Give me your criticism about it.
No, I love John Wick. I love John Wick. Love Donnie Yen. Love Keanu Reeves. Love the series. It's a comic book series. It is a diehard. I love it. It's a video game. I wish Mafex would re-release the damn figure so I could get it, because Mezco is ridiculous, and RB's right. Mafex is probably the best company right now next to Mezco when it comes to 1/12 scale. I'm gonna hands down agree with you on that. I think John Wick 4 was a fantastic film.
It was kind of closing the door, but unofficially, there's a lot of speculation that, you know, it all depends on how you interpret the ending of it. But I mean, the action I thought was great. We get a blind assassin, blind warrior played by Danny Yen.
Donnie, not Danny.
Donnie.
Oh, you will piss off a lot of the Asian community and a lot of the martial arts.
Well, they can cancel me.
Don't cancel you. I'm not, folks, I'm with him on this. Don't cancel me. I love Donnie Yen. I'm a huge Donnie Yen fan. Been loving him since like 1999.
Yeah. But I mean, this is the second time he's played a warrior who's blind. He did it in Star Wars.
Chariot.
And I mean, he is a great person, and I mean, it's they had an amazing cast in here. I'm trying to think, what's his name? The one who played the guy in the high table. I can't remember his name.
Oh, the British guy. Yeah, he was the one on the high table. He was there.
He's one of the Skarsgårds. He played played Pennywise.
Alexander.
Yeah, he was great as a bad guy. They got one of my favorite guys to play like the overseer or the advocates, like the judgment, the judge of the high table. Blanking on his name, but he was in the original Highlander. He voiced Lex Luthor in the Justice League animated series. I'm blanking on his name right now. Oh God, I'm going to hate myself.
So I'm sorry, it wasn't Alexander. It was Bill Skarsgård. That's
Bill. Yep.
And then
Bill Skarsgård and
Clancy Brown.
Brown. That's who I'm thinking of.
Clancy Brown, who's done the voice of Slade. You had him be.
He also voiced Grodd in the CW Flash series. Yes, he's voiced over so many people. He's got a sci-fi pedigree that's just kind of great to see him in non-sci-fi stuff. I mean, we know him from Pet Sematary 2. Of course, he was, the Kurgan in Highlander. He was on an NBC show called Earth 2, which was a short-lived, one season series.
I remember that.
It was a really good show. He's just getting these great actors in here, and like I said, it also depends on how you interpret the ending, because we see a close-up zooming in on a tombstone saying John Wick, loving husband. But we don't actually see when he was lowered down. We see him, looks like he's collapsing at the steps. It's open to interpretation. Some people can say, yes, he is dead, but who knows? It's John Wick. You just never know.
I'm going to state my opinion, and this is probably
Go
unpopular
ahead,
for what
bring
I'm
it.
about to say. Following the concept that we got the Continental, the 3 episodes of the Continental series,
Yes,
then we have the Ballerina coming out, and then after we have the Ballerina,
which they're calling John Wick the ballerina,
yeah,
just
they're
so you can
calling
get the name recognition and the association with it.
and then there is rumors that they're going to continue with the John Wick 5.
Yes,
He's already kind of come out and said that they're working on it. Like Toy Story, we're getting a Toy Story 5. There's several
yeah.
things coming out, so be expecting. So wait,
Well,
let's answer this question.
on AMs, I was clicking at the same time you did.
So Millennium,
We go ahead.
no, so Millennium, you're asking us. We did a whole video on this before the holiday, and I know we
Yep.
kind of maybe jumped the shark on it by maybe putting that out at like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was our last official video of 2023. Dre, go ahead.
Um, there are a few. There's one coming out this weekend. I'd like to go see, which is the Beekeeper. Obviously, with Jason. I already said that I want to see that.
With
Deadpool
Jason
3.
Statham. Yep.
Deadpool 3. I've already said that's 100% on my list.
Yep. That's on both of
Um,
our lists.
I would-
Ghostbusters, Frozen
Ghostbusters.
Empire.
Ghostbusters is on my list as well.
Hey.
Godzilla,
Which is now
Kong, New
which is now
Empire.
coming out March 22nd, by the way.
Yeah, and then I know Godzilla Kong comes out in late March as well. We're getting that, and I'm
What date in March?
I forgot what they said. I have to
Hold
double
on.
check.
I'm gonna do a search.
Yeah, because I know they said late March or April. Was it War for Planet of the Apes?
Okay, right now Google is still reporting it for April 12th.
April 12th? Okay, so then they moved it back.
Okay.
That's fine.
So I'm going to say that might be part of the motivation for Sony releasing Ghostbusters Frozen Empire a week early, so that gives them at least a couple weeks before Godzilla comes out. Because if it would have been, March 29th, it would have been officially like 2 weeks before that comes out. So, and depending on how, it might be releasing earlier across different parts of the world. So, because I was thinking that Sony releasing Ghostbusters Frozen Empire a week early, there had to be a motivation behind that. So,
Oh, don't worry, Millennium. Listen, we understand, bro. I know that everybody.
no
Was
worries, and you can always catch the replay.
That's what I'm not. I wasn't. I just wanted to say that I wanted to let you know we did do a video about it. That's why I was
Yep.
just doing. It wasn't any slight against you or anything like that. I do know that there are there are a lot of I've been seeing a lot of independent films that are definitely coming to the forefront.
Yeah.
That are lesser known, that I'm not going to say anything about them till I kind of wait till Oscar time, because I know that the Oscars, Golden Globes always has a lot of the A24 style films that come out and get released, and we don't really see them till they go to the bigger screen. So I do have a few films that are non-Marvel, non-DC.
Yeah, I got guilty pleasure movies picked because Dre already knows Beverly Hills Cop. That's Life coming out this summer on Netflix.
That's gonna be freaking awesome.
Beetlejuice 2.
Beetlejuice 2. War for the Planet. Oh, is it Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes?
Yeah,
because I'm a diehard fan of that series.
And we talked about that. I have to catch up on that at some point.
And I'm reading the new prequel comic book that Marvel and Fox are working on together to actually get us ready for that.
No worries, Rex.
So definitely.
Oh, we got the Wolfpack in the house.
Wolfie's in the house.
And
But
Wolfpack,
yeah,
I loved your review of Mutt.
Yeah, I love that Mutt review, dude. Hands down, I loved it. But the Beekeeper is probably the top of the list right now, because I love Jason Statham.
There's a Beekeeper, and there's a kind of a illegitimate clone starring Aaron Eckhart. It's kind of in the vein of Beekeeper, where he's a former company man, former CIA that is partnered up with a younger person, and they have to go on a mission, which is almost revenge-like, almost similar to Beekeeper in a few veins. Which isn't surprising, because Aaron Eckhart has starred in movies that were clones of other movies before.
I, Frankenstein.
No. I'm talking about the year when he had Deep Impact Armageddon, and he was in the core.
Yes, he was.
He was in the core, so it's you get those, but yeah,
RB, stop! You're killing me.
I know I'm just one guy, but I appreciate this podcast definitely.
Dave, you understand the reference. So
Yes.
yeah, RB, I love you, man. I love you. That's you just
But yeah, again, also by the way, speaking of podcasts, I will be updating our past episodes, which I haven't been able to do because of the holidays and just trying to get
we
that
took a
JOB
break.
situation taken care of. So I'll be taking care of that very soon. Ricardo says I found all the Planet 8 movies on Blu-ray for $3 at my at a pawn shop. Hey,
I would grab them because
Yeah.
they're not the war. I actually just re-downloaded those
Yeah,
3
are you
movies.
also talking about the Mark Wahlberg one too, or are you leaving that one out?
No, he's talking about what was it? War.
Well,
It was War. God, I forget Dawn, War, and something else.
Rise.
Rise. So it's Dawn, War, Rise, and then there's this one, King Beyond Kingdom, and there's going to be a new trilogy out of this set, and then
Well, see,
I'm excited about it.
I'm such a weirdo that I grew up watching the original movies with Charlton Heston, of course, and the spun off TV series from the 70s.
Those were good though; they weren't terrible.
No, well, by today's standards, they would be, but
You know what though?
But I'm
Screw what
also
people think about it.
yeah, but see, I'm also the guy that will watch Buck Rogers in 25th Century
Same with me.
with
Buck
Gil
Rogers-
Gerard. So
It's always Battlestar Galactica in the 70s. You cannot
I would
equate.
still rock that. What are you talking about?
And I know people have
They're
asked.
rebooting that again.
I know. So I do know that
I don't have the
people have,
Wahlberg one. He said,
what was it? I do know people have reached out to me and have asked, are Dave and I going to ever do like old series, like movies like that? Like, are we going to ever talk about those? Yes,
Look at Real Batman's comment.
I did. I will rise. I'm going to say this. I will probably schedule those because a lot of people want to see, because we did such a great series last year, which was who was the best Batman in the movies, and that spawned who was the best Batman for television. So those series are going to be coming out starting in the end of this month, going through to February before Oscars. And that's going to be Batman, Superman. I forgot who else. I have the list. I have to go.
We can expand that.
I mean, we can, and I know that in the television realm, we did open it up to voice acting as well as live action.
I'm suggesting something a little bit different. Who is the best Frankenstein? Who's the best Dracula? We can go the monster movie route.
I know people have asked us to do that too, because there's been talks after we did the whole MonsterVerse, where we talked before the kaiju became the MonsterVerse. People have asked us, like, what do you think? What do you want to do? So Dave and I have talked about it. It's on the list of projects. I've currently started working on the cheat sheet.
That's Van Helsing. Who knows?
So when I finish those, you guys do. We've been pretty good. Like I said, we took a little bit of a break. We're going to be posting a little bit of snapshots a week before or a couple days before. You guys will know what we're talking about. So if you do want to see, if you want to know what we're doing, check it out. Like, go to our Instagram. The Twitter, I have to get better about because holidays just wrecked me. Work was wrecking me. Now I'm
Twitter, of course, is the Outer Dim Pod.
Yes.
Instagram is the Outer Dimensions Podcast, of course.
So,
and of course, you can always email at the Outer Dimensions Podcast at gmail.com. Those are our main socials right there. And of course, if you want, you can always reach out to Dre at Dre of the Collector Safe Space on Instagram. You can always reach out to Dave's _dimension, just like my name shows right there on the screen. Just Dave's _dimension. You can always reach us there as well. Also, let's see here. Let me pull up Ricardo. I would love to see you guys do a stream on the old black and white monster movies. And
You know what?
yeah,
Consider that done. I would have saved those for Halloween, but because
They're-
there's been a lot of talk
honestly,
about it, I'll do it.
those that can be several weeks, Ricardo, to be perfectly honest, because there are a lot of great classic black and white movies. I mean, we could look at the Draculas. We can look at your Bela Lugosi.
I mean,
We
you
can
know,
look at the OG Frankenstein. We can look at the original Nosferatu. We could look at a great horror film. Well, I don't know if you can call it great, but it is a bit cheesy. White Zombie. The original Night of the Living Dead. I mean, there are so many black and white horror movies that we can even look at Phantom of the Opera if we really wanted to. The movie itself, not the musical,
I mean,
but
those are all universal properties, and I wouldn't
yeah,
have a problem doing that. So
yeah. So I mean, yeah, we could
consider
do
it
our
done.
own
Consider it done. I'll start working. Let's just put it this way: give me 3
We-
weeks. Give me 3
listen.
weeks to get that project started. Because, like I said, like Dave
And
said,
again, we have content like Dre has us pretty much planned almost this summer right now.
yeah, I have
At least.
everything booked,
And
right
we could
through
shuffle
summer.
things around. So we can definitely fit those in here and there, and there and here, and here and who knows.
Well, everything except for the Oscars. The week for the Oscars, that's dedicated to
Yeah.
the Oscars. I was trying to get us in for the Golden Globes, but I missed the date. That's why I forgot. But we're going to do the Oscar show. That week is dedicated to the Oscars. So whatever we're doing,
Plus,
it's going to be a break for the Oscars, and then it's back to the content.
it was football season. Let's be honest. Go Bills.
So we do have, like I said, I do have a lot of content that I've shifted around, and there's stuff that we didn't even get to finish from last year that are shows like we did 2 episodes of the series, and then it was the end of the year. So
Monarch.
Don't forget, Dave and I do have Monarch, which is finishing this week, is the last episode, and oh
Yep.
my god, that show is freaking amazing.
And I caught up to it today.
So I had to put episode 9 in the queue for you.
And by the way, Dre, hold that thought for just 1 second. Anyone out there who happens to have T-Mobile as your telephone service provider, and if you happen to have a certain phone plan, a Magenta and up, you can actually get Apple Plus free as a courtesy service included in your benefits. It's something new that they recently added. So then you can catch up on great series such as Monarch and many, many more. So I wanted to throw that out there for people. So if you happen to be a T-Mobile provider, T-Mobile's your service provider, you could be getting Apple TV for free and watch a whole bunch of great movies. Like they have that Tetris movie I'm planning to potentially watch at some point this weekend. They have a lot of great content on there. So if you guys if you don't have Apple TV and you're like, well, I don't want to pay for another service, check your cell phone provider, Verizon and a few others. They may be providing that to you at no cost, but you're not aware of it. So look into it, guys. Dre.
Sorry, it was my brother was trying to FaceTime me.
Okay.
That's why. So like I said, we have a lot of content down the pipe. We are going to be. Give me 2 weeks. Let's finish out these. I have already these 2 episodes mapped out that we're doing. I will shift everything else down and start doing some black. I've been wanting to do some classic black and white films anyway. So yeah, Monarch episode 9 this week was fire, or last week was fire. I'm going to tell you now.
That end, dude.
The end of episode 9 was just wow.
You were kind of hoping that might happen, maybe.
I knew that was the case. I was just like, wow. And we're gonna actually do a review. Dave and I have said that we were going to review this show, so we will dedicate an episode of the show to that, just to do that. And it'll probably be in a few weeks. We may film it, and it'll be like a filler episode, or we'll just take a live and we'll just talk about those episodes.
Ooh, Ricardo, good. Ricardo, I hope you enjoyed Afterlife. And I hope you watched all the way to the end credits.
Afterlife was great. So, I know that I do want to go over some
Hey,
stuff.
Cobb Collector.
Hey, Cobb. I do want to mention some things that were happening on my channel, and Dave had mentioned what's going on his personal channels. So my channel now is going to have some set days. So if you guys have been following the channel for any period of time, Wednesdays I do a live because I'm off from work. I missed today's because I actually fell asleep. We had no power. last night I ended up getting up very early, did some stuff for work, and just passed out. So sorry I missed today's episode. I'll make it up to you guys. the So Mondays will be a regular video drop for the Retro Rewind Season 2. We have 10 episodes left in that series that are set to come out. And Dave, thanks to Dave for letting me know that they were kind of overrunning into the live. So expect those to be on. Those will be Mondays, dropping at noon. Wednesdays, I'll be dropping my regular live at between 12 noon to 1. And then comic chats will be filmed later in the day, and that will air late Wednesday, early Thursday. And then obviously you'll see me and Dave for Wednesday nights doing this, unless we tell you otherwise. And then Fridays, you see Dave and I join up with our friend Colbane Games, playing Fortnite and all that fun stuff.
Freaky Fortnite Fridays.
Which I will not be. Sadly, you guys won't see me on early anymore because I work Friday nights. So I'll be on at the midnight. So probably the tail end of the stream. You guys will catch me. But just wanted to throw that out there. So Dave, I know you said you had a lot of you got some content. So I want to hear what you got coming up.
Yeah, I'm going to be, well, first and foremost, I am going to be doing Elite Casts again, but they're going to be pre-recorded episodes. I'm going to do a recap. We're going to catch up on the last few episodes of season 1, and I'm going to do individual episodes for season 2. It's not going to take long. Those are going out there, but my primary goal, because right now we were doing Dimension Tech, where I was featuring different computer builders, different companies you can buy pre-built gaming and regular PCs from. That's going to be on hold for right now, as well as the computer build, which may not happen due to the outside world. It is what it is. But what we're going to do is we're going to be doing the Leapcast, but also focusing on the Ride for Roswell. Every year, I am part of a bike riding fundraiser for Roswell Park Comprehensive Cancer Institute. And every year we do Stream for the Cure. Stream for the Cure usually ranges between 8 to 10 hours, where I stream live, nonstop. And we're going to raise money for Roswell Park Comprehensive Cancer Institute. More details to follow. We'll see what kind of prizes or what kind of incentives we're going to have. But every dollar, every nickel, every dime goes to Roswell Park Comprehensive Cancer Institute to help develop new cancer vaccines, new treatments, and to help stamp out cancer itself. Cancer has affected several family members in my life. It's affected someone in every one of your lives. Cancer is not necessarily a one-way ticket, but for some people, it can be very scary. In fact, the YouTube community recently lost the leader of the Reptile Army. You can find more information if you reach out to Rebels, Reptiles, and Games. Ed at Rebels, Reptiles, and Games. There was a gentleman by the name of Brian, who is this reptile and snake guru, and he chronicled every bit of his life for like the past 15 years on YouTube. He recently passed, or he entered into hospice this past week, and it's only a matter of days before he passes. And it was, I want to say, colon cancer. I could be wrong, but it affects those in the YouTube community. It affects us all. So what I'm asking is, if anyone wants to be involved with it, message me at Daves_Dimension on Instagram, or if you don't have Instagram, email me at davesdimension78@gmail.com. I'm not necessarily asking for people to just donate stuff. If you want to donate stuff as giveaways, that's great, but it's not required. If you want to help promoting the stream, because the stream usually happens around April or May. And like I said, it's a fundraiser stream. If you want to help promote it, you want to be someone behind the scenes, or maybe you want to make some suggestions that you think would be fun and help get people more engaged with it, message me and reach out. Basically, I'm looking for help to help make this the best stream possible to help Roswell Park Comprehensive Cancer Institute. My mother had a form of skin cancer. She had it for many years. It wasn't what caused her to die. She died because of poor health decisions, smoking for a number of years. That's one thing. My father actually hid cancer from us. We found out the day he passed. So there's a lot of people that keep it hidden. Mental health is always a strong issue. And guys, be on the lookout. Me and Jay are going to be doing a mental health stream very soon.
Yeah, it'll be
So
February is what we're shooting for as a date because Dave brought up some good points to me about it.
Yep.
I will state this that the Roswell Ride for the Cure, the Collector Safe Space group, we several members I know in the group will always support
Yep.
and we appreciate that. I will be spearheading stuff with Dave. I am working with a few sponsors to get some prizes. I will be creating a prize pack from myself that I will be funding. And then I will reach out to Walter Hagen. For those of you who know, he is one of the figure creators for Four Horsemen and Mythic Legions, as well as Cosmic Legions. So I'll be reaching back out to him. He is a very big fan of supporting all kinds of support groups and creators.
yeah,
So Dave, when he said this, it resonates with me because I lost my mother to cancer. I've lost my aunt to cancer, and it's never fun. So
No.
this is a personal project of mine that I
Yeah.
want to help. And again, we're not asking anybody to come donate. Like no one's asked me. Dave didn't ask me.
No.
He said, "Do you want to help?" I said, "Of course." And I will be donating something, a prize pack. I will
Yeah.
create, purchase, and then
Because
I know
even if
Walter will send
even if
something.
we don't have prizes to give out, we're still going to be doing this because I know there are going to be some people who have lost a family member, parents, sibling, extended family. Personally, I have a relative right now who is battling.
Mhm.
Okay, this is something that just came up over the past 2 months, and it's it to me it's making it feel a little bit more personal.
Oh, definitely hits
So
close to home.
I mean, my wife has been doing the Ride for Roswell for a number of years. I think this is year 9, maybe, or 10. This is my 4th year. I'm going to be doing the Ride for Roswell. Um, it's basically it is a bike. It's not a race, but it is a bike ride. People do different routes. Last year, I did the 44-mile route. I might be doing that one, or I might even be doing a longer one this year. It all depends on circumstances. But it's to bring awareness and to help Roswell Park. They develop cancer treatments. They are a treatment facility, but they also experiment and develop new cancer treatments and vaccines. And that's what it's about. It's about let's just stamp out cancer completely. It's great if you can extend a person's life, but what if we could just get rid of cancer completely? And that's the main goal. So that's probably going to be the main drive for Dave's Dimension for the next 6 months is going to be Ride for Roswell. Everything else is going to be secondary. Leapcast is going to be a secondary issue. Any other additional contents, game streams, those are going to be secondary issues. But I'm going to be advertising the Ride for Roswell and Stream for the Cure in that. And like I said, more details are going to be coming very soon. Like Dre said, he's got his comic chat, which he's going to be premiering that very soon. He's also
The
developed.
first episode already came out, so episode
Okay.
2 will be filmed later tonight, and it'll probably it'll be
Yep.
edited and uploaded tomorrow. I had a late start because of the bad weather, so it'll be up
And
tomorrow.
also, he's got his father figures with him and Colin,
Yeah, we're
which
working.
I think is going to be a great show for a lot of parents and a lot of families out there.
And
So
it's
check
not
that
going to
out.
be the typical toy stuff. So for y'all that are like looking for toy reviews on our toys, it's not. It's about our kids, their toys, what they collect.
Yep.
So it's a very big. It's a pet project of mine that I've been wanting to work on. And there is another project that I've added to the queue. Why I'm adding projects to my queue, I don't know. I like to stay busy. There is another show I used to do many years ago. It was a wrestling theme show because a lot of y'all love wrestling. I got Dave back into the fold.
Wrestling
And
or wrestling?
I know. So expect outside interference to make its return. And with outside interference, Dave is going to be working on some of the stuff. I have an idea for what we're doing, background wise, video wise. We don't know when it's going to premiere yet. Probably around February is when I'm guessing. Because I want to try to get some time under the belt to see what we got with the rest of the projects we got going on. So that's what's going on as far as what I see. Same with me, Batman. I do the same thing too. But this is going to be about like Bluey, Coco Melon, stuff that's for the kids. That's strictly for the kids. Not
It's for the
McFarlane,
children.
not anything like that. So, Colin and I both are dads that are collectors, but our kids, his son collects, my daughter collects, my son collects, and my littlest one collects. So now we're going to talk about that stuff, and I feel like that's a lot of fun. It's going to be informative. So stay tuned for that.
Okay. And you have any parting words this week, Dre?
I do, and I didn't want to. I'm not going to bring it up. I've not brought this up, and I'm going to stay very true to this. I love and support my brothers and sisters on YouTube. The platform is large enough for all of us to have a place to participate on. Whoever thought they were their group and the person and people that were trying to do anything to take my friends down, my fellow community members down, my brothers and sisters, I've already let it be known. The law enforcement agencies know who you are. All it takes is a button push from me. Leave us alone. We're fine. We're not bothering anybody. This show, Dave's channel, my channel, everybody else that I love, you've been warned. And this is not a threat. I promise, Dave knows, I promise walking into 2024, no drama. I've had none until this. And I refuse to carry it any further. So stay out of our way. The platform is big enough for everybody. Community members that are standing for community. That's what we do here. Collector Safe Space, Out of Dimension Podcast, Dave's Dimension. I can name everybody that wants to be in a community. You look for brotherhood, sisterhood. Mm-hmm. You're welcome here. You don't want that? Tell your story walking. That's my piece.
If anyone is curious, there's been a case of people in the community trying to bring other channels and personalities on YouTube down. We, again, names will not be said here, but there are a person or persons out there who are not trying to just bring one person down, but they're trying to bring other people down because they associate or they support other people. Like Dre said, and you hear me say this all the time, anyone can start a YouTube channel. Anyone can be out here. YouTube is big enough for everyone and the grandmother. Okay? If Grandma Esther wants to talk about her crocheting, she can do a channel. Okay? If YouTube is big enough for everyone, if you have an issue with someone or if you feel threatened that you have to slander them or you have to try and get people together to try and bring this person, and this person down, that's bullying. That's cyberbullying. That's not tolerated, at a teenager's level. It's not going to be tolerated at an adult level. So, fact of the matter is,
defamation of character. Just
yes.
in case you wanted to know the legal term, folks, defamation of character, which is also a form of slander, which is also illegal.
And this is not something that we always like to bring up, but it is something that should be made aware that there are those in the community who are trying to attack other people, and that's not going to be tolerated. It shouldn't be tolerated. I mean, this is child behavior. Let's be very blunt and honest. This is child and teenage behavior. We're grown-ass adults. There is room for everyone to exist. If you feel that you have to go behind other people's backs and you have to get people together to try and take away subscribers or try to prevent people from getting watch hours or inadvertently going around and attacking channels so that they do not have growth, that's just no, that's not something that we are going to accept. And again, I apologize if this seems like it's coming out of left field. It's been brought to Dre's attention.
Well, it's been something I've been dealing with for about 2 months now, and I haven't said anything. And Dave is the only one that really knows what's been going on because I've talked to him about it, and a very selected few others, my wife included. And when I informed my wife about more to the details as I was made privy to them, my wife was upset, and that's
so was my wife.
just so you can understand, I spoke to Roxanne yesterday,
Yeah.
and she was livid. And I'm going to tell you now, folks, this is my family. My family is on my channel. You slander me and you slander my family, I'm going to say exactly what was said by Will Smith. Keep my family out your fucking mouth. And I'm saying that because I know who you are and I know who the people that you are fucking with. And if you think coming after my family was smart, I've already made the right phone calls. I've made the right moves. Back away nicely. You've been warned.
Mhm.
And I say this very truthfully. I'm not a person to be messed with. I'll give my heart to this community. I give my heart to my friends and my family. Don't mess with me. This isn't bullshit. This isn't a joke. We know who you are. Walk away. That's where I leave that.
Okay. And again, we don't mean to get all serious talking about the cancer,
I'm sorry that
the cancer fundraiser. And we one thing that Dre, Collector Safe Space, and Dave's Dimension have always been a part of is always we don't hide anything. If something is bothering us, something is going on, we share it with you guys. It's being upfront and being completely blunt and honest with everyone who watches us, because we're not fake. We don't write scripts. We don't we're not. And when I say scripts, I'm not saying as far as your content. There are some people that purposely act one way in front of the camera and a different way behind the camera. When it comes to Dre, this is who he is. In front of the camera, he's the same person behind the camera. With me, same way, off air and on air. There are a lot of great content creators, and many of them have been through the chat tonight. Who they're exactly who they are during their content, during their streams. This is who they are. Okay. There are others in the community that sadly they're not that way. And it's everyone's decision. But when you start to attack someone emotionally, mentally, and you are purposely going out of your way to stunt their content and growth, that's just not right.
So
And that's why we're being honest, and we're bringing this, we're adjusting it to everyone so that they're aware. If they hear something behind the scenes, this is what's going on. We're being honest with you. We're letting you guys know. We're not going to hide. We're not going to hide anything. If things are going bad, things are going bad. Anyone knows that during my videos and streams, I've mentioned that I am out of work. I've been out of work for a little over a month and a half, and I'm honest about it. I don't sugarcoat it. I could be hiding that fact from everyone, but I don't. Dre has a family, and there are times when maybe he's not getting content on time, or maybe he can't appear on a stream with us during the Outer Dimensions, and he's very upfront about that. We don't hide anything. Okay. If our lives are miserable, we will bring it up. But guess what, guys? We're honest. We're there for you, just like you are there for us. So that's why we're being honest and bringing all this up front to you guys so that you're aware of it. Because we're not going to lie about anything. We're not going to sugarcoat anything, unlike other entities.
There's three sides to a story. As a teacher, I was always told this. You have three sides to the story. There's that one side, there's the other parties, and then there's the truth. The truth is, we know what it is. And I think RB says it best. It's about the good ones and the bad ones. Karma comes and gets you. Karma's a bitch. It will come. The karmic circle comes.
Karma is a bitch. I went to high school with her.
I don't want to end on a bad note. We always end on a good note. The positive note is, y'all know where we got good things coming on the pipe. Tune in next week, because next week we got some cool stuff. I don't want to tell you yet because I'm still working on the cheat sheet, but we got some good stuff coming down. Dave's going to have it set up for the IG to make it look pretty. And like we said, we gave you guys the show ideas of what we're doing. And if you guys ever want to be on the show and you have free time to come on, you're always welcome to
Speaking of pretty.
Yeah, I gotta send Dave one of his new Joes. I tried to get. I didn't get to get him something today. I was going to try to get him, but I have to get it for him next week when I get to go back to the comic book shop. But we do our best to get you guys the content you love, and we appreciate you. We love you. Thank you guys for spending your time with us and taking your time out of your day to enjoy this because we have fun doing it. So thank you, Ricardo, RB, Rolando,
Nerd
Alex,
affiliated.
everybody, William, everybody that came through. We appreciate you. I got to go deal with a little one. Dave's going to go handle some stuff. He's going to work on some projects. We really do appreciate the stuff you guys do. Those comments, like Ricardo just said, really means the world to us because it is our personal free time that we use to do this stuff. So thank you guys. Thank you for all the content creators that are in here that come through here. And if you guys are interested in Pokemon, I'm going to tell you all now, jump over to Cole Bane Games. He's playing Pokemon Violet. That's what he plays. So I'm playing the same game. Go check him out. He's having a fun playthrough of that game. Tell him that you guys got sent by Dave and Dre because that's our other brother. So
Fridays he's got Fortnite. Mondays he's been doing Diablo with Berserker Bloodline.
And me, I will be back on that. Depends on my time, but I will be back. But yes, thank you guys for watching us. Dave, you take him out.
I have too much hair to play that with them, so.
Dave, you take him out. I gotta go get the little one.
Yep.
I love you guys.
Guys, as always, Dre always reminds you, watch your head on your way out through the portal. And guys, as always, you know what I'm going to say. I say it every single time. Keep on busting, and we're always going to catch you on the flip side. See you next week.